So hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It is June, and after 4 qualifying rounds, with 2 rounds to qualify for that team competition, we've reached our monthly finals. My name's Matt Payne. I'm back in the studio with Emma Martin. Emma has been holding the fort in some style over the last 2 weeks whilst I've not been here, and I have to say, I've really enjoyed watching the shows back after my absence. And Emma, some amazing racing that you're putting words to the action to. And today, it's one of our classic courses.
It is. We're heading to Wollongong in Australia for the June final. Nearly said July there. 35 kilometres of racing, 502 metres of ascent today for the women. They come out of the start through the City Beach Sprint. Look at that, at 900 metres into the race. Then after the sprint, we've got the 7% kicker. That is the famous Wollongong start. We come out. It is exceptionally rolling parkour today. And then, of course, there are the 2 Wollongong climbs, 2.1 kilometres in length with an average gradient of 4.8%. But as you can see, there are 2 stages to that climb. The first kicker goes to 10%. The second kicker goes to 17%. There is no average 4.8 about this.
Nothing average about this course, nothing average about our teams who are about to take to the start, because this is the end of the month. So you can see we've got Kitty Hawk Racing represented with 2 teams, the Moonport and Skyclaw team. Level Cycling Warriors are back, along with Level Phoenix, Royal Ascent, and the Tour de Friends. And we're going to run you through the team riders and, more importantly, who's likely to figure in terms of the team competition and those individual riders once we've got them up and away from the start. So our standard race category, it is category 6, about to leave the start pens here, head out onto the course and head up onto the climbs. It's time to go racing here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. The June final is a go. And Emma, stunning teams, some real class riders. Who's your pick today?
Well, there's nothing standard about any of the 24 women on this race sheet today. And 24 riders in category 6 for the June final. Now, Kirchner, Hamilton and Mitchells for the Moonport squad. It was their Kitty Hawk teammates, the Skyclaw squad, who took the win in the final in May. And Manon Holtman's had a 4th and a 5th this month for that squad. They could go well, but, and I'm going to say it's a big but, because 2 teams for me have been having phenomenal performances this month. The Level Cycling Warriors. Brooke Samuels had 2 first place. Dominique Charlebois has had a 1st, a 2nd and a 4th. Those 2 riders from the Level Cycling Warriors squad are on form. They're joined by Johnson, Limbaga and Kirchner. But what can I say about Tour de Friends? If you're racing with friends, there is nothing better to do. But Solizano's had a 4th place, Agadello's had a 2nd and a 5th, Narvaez has had a 3rd and a 4th, and Sarasuk has had a 3rd and a 5th. They're going to be a strong squad. Barco is in there as well. Level Phoenix, Driscoll, Hadjuk and Hooker. Hooker strong, so is Hadjuk, and Driscoll is always there or thereabouts. Royal Ascent, Flores, Botero, Lopez and Arrayas. I think there's going to be a strong team competition here today. And I also think, because of this course today, and we didn't talk about the back end of this race course, after the 2nd ascent of the Wollongong climb, it's then a 6.4 kilometre run to the finish line. And for me, category 6, 5 and 4 could potentially come together in that final 6 kilometre run, and we could see mass sprints today to finish off this race.
That would make it very, very interesting. And trying to sprint after both those climbs, and the riders do know this course inside out. If you are one of our regular riders,
some of them.
Just a quick note to our riders: we have got a new way of interacting with our riders in terms of seeing them on screen, and it is really, really important, guys. If you could follow the instructions on your screen, so you will see an important note come up, and it does actually ask you to make sure that you use your name that you register. Don't use your nickname. And then turn on auto rotate on your phone and place your phone in a landscape mode. So incredibly small, and we're not going to see you in all your glory on the screen. So that's a quick note from our production team, please, guys. If you are in the Zoom room, follow those instructions. Use your full name. Make sure you avoid using any nicknames. Don't use my old nickname, for example, or yours. And make sure that you put the auto rotate on your phone and put your phone in landscape mode. Then we get to see you in all your glory on the screen. So that's been much appreciated. Thank you. Right, that's the housekeeping done. Emma, sorry.
What are you sorry for? What have you done?
Just housekeeping, just the usual.
Housekeeping, carry on. I'm sure everybody enjoys it when somebody else does the housekeeping. But Solazano and Charlebois, Holtman all on the front of the pack at the moment, and Stevenson is there as well. Now, this early sprint and climb have already decimated the Category 6 pack. And, well, it is a challenging course. We've been here 9 times before on the Wollongong City course in the women's. The first time out was indeed May 2023.
Oh my
if you can
goodness.
think back, we've only raced here once this year before. January, February, March, April. That was April 2025. So once this year, but 9 times in total. A lot of these riders will not know the course because they are new to MyWhoosh this year.
Well, we're going to see how they get on. And, of course, we've got the improving dynamics and the constantly improving game. Now, Kitty Hawk had lots of teams in our previous race category. That was Category 6. In Category 5, they also have the Shadow Fang, Kitty Hawk Racing Shadow Fang team, along with Black Panthers, Phoenix, the Arepa Power, Velocity Vipers, and the Watt Women's team. Number of individual riders as well. And remember, of course, those prizes in all of our categories are not just for the individual top 10 at the end of the race. There are prizes per segment. That's the sprint and the climb segments. Prizes. I know. I need more coffee. Clearly, we've got our prizes, of course, for our overall sprint winners, our overall climbs winners, and the team competition. Top 7 teams in each category getting prizes. So it's time for Category 5 to head out from the pens to see which prizes they're going to be collecting, which of their piggy banks are going to be full to bursting, and which of them are going to be giving them a shake and not hearing much rattling.
Well, before we talk about Category 5, I am just going to talk about Category 6 City Beach Sprint, because big news in today. Jessica Hamilton has been beaten in a sprint.
No way.
Yes, Monica
Put the
Hadjuk,
date in your diaries. It'll come up on your Facebook feed and everything.
Monica Hadjuk has taken the sprint in head of Jessica Hamilton. That is going to be one to keep a massive eye on this time round. Now, Category 5, we're in Katie Bago at the moment. 31 riders on the start sheets in Category 5. It's a big race field today, and it is packed. It is going to be one team competition, because I think there are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 teams on the start sheets, 4 of which I think could be in with the win. The Black Panthers, Valencia, Warren and Wilhelm. Valencia's had a 5th, Wilhelm's had a 3rd and a 4th. They're on form. Phoenix, Tejeros has had a 4th and Ferran's had a 2nd. Gentili, Giuliano and Lloyd, they could go well. Team Arepa Power, Ares has had a 5th. Danny Giraldo's had a 3rd and a 4th. Zagula, Isabella Giraldo and Zabala are in the mix there. They were 2nd team last month. But for me, this has got to be the team to beat. And the Watt women were the team on top last month. I think they could be the team on top again this month. Amy Loxley's had a 1st, a 2nd and a 5th. Ella Vinks had 2 firsts, a 2nd and a 3rd. And Natalia Idzik has been dominating the sprints and the climbs, and she's taken a 3rd place as well. Katie Bago always goes well too. That is going to be one squad that everybody's got their eye on. But at the moment, it is a massive sprint, and Lloyd is challenging Montoya at the moment.
Yeah, Lloyd and Montoya, I was just keeping an eye on that as you were running through those teams there. Montoya went early, but Lloyd went from just that little bit further back, picks up the sprint win, so that's the segment prize, and at the moment leading in that jersey. Emma, have you got the top 5 there?
I do. So Nikki Lloyd takes it from Lady Montoya. Skitco in 3rd, Almansori in 4th, and Danny Giraldo in 5th.
And then in Category 6, Emma already brought you the big breaking news that Hadjuk had beaten Hamilton in the sprint. The 2 of those riders ahead of Arias, along with Holtman and Agadello. They are the point scorers in Category 6 on that very first sprint. And this sprint coming so early in the race, it really does shake things up. It was a time when riders used to get settled into the sprints competition. You know, they would do it part way in, they'd already have warmed up.
Yeah.
Now, at the moment, it's like wham, bam, out the pen, straight into the
Well,
sprint.
and
Go for
also
it.
with the double whammy of
Yeah.
sprint, trying to regroup from the sprint, and as you're trying to regroup from the sprint, you go into this climb that the Category 5 riders are on the right-hand side of your screen. They're coming towards the top of the climb at 1.7 kilometres, and it did indeed do damage to the Category 6 group. It's doing damage to the Category 5 group.
Yep.
We've got 3 small groups on the road at the moment. Category 6 have not recovered. They're trying, you can see, trying to concertina back together again. That draft is really, really strong when you're in it, but you've pretty much got a 5-metre gap. And then you've got to come back in, and it takes a huge kick to get back into that draft. As soon as you're in it, at 5 metres, closing that gap is a lot easier, but it is a big challenge.
We're going to come back to the draft a little bit later because in my little show notes, because I
Ooh.
do have some show notes,
Ooh.
as per normal. We don't just make this.
I never know what's in your show notes.
No, I keep them highly secretive from you. Only because we then get the full on Emma reaction when we spring something on you. There is cooperation is everything. We will be talking about draft a little bit later on. Let's dive in with Category 4. This is our third race start here today on the June finals. We've got our Blitz, Babes, Gear Goddesses, Gear Geeks, Pedal Queens, Pedals on Fire, Speed Busters, and the Unshakable team, which I think is one of the greatest names going. There were a few changes from the original list of riders. The only team not to have qualifying riders, in fact, enough qualifying riders, according to my sheets at least, is the Gear Geeks, because you need 3 riders to be in. And according to my sheets, you've got 2 riders. You just need to squeeze 1 more out. Do jump on. There is a big Discord channel. Jump on board and have a chat on the Discord conversations and on those chats. There's a big chat going on the women's race, and it's very, I have to say, much more organised than the men's race field, which is nowhere near.
We can say that categorically.
Organised. Yes, we see this week in, week out. So we have the facts to back up the
statement,
the assertion of mine that the women's race teams are more organised.
Well, I'm asserting that Keely Bennett is absolutely dialing this on the front.
I love that camera shot coming out from the start there, just shooting out from the start.
Anna Freyas is there, Carolina Alzat, Karwazuska is there as well, Hadlock, Herrera, all in the mix now. 32 riders on the start sheets today in Category 4. The team competition, again, the performances across the month spread really across the teams. For me, though, it's going to be the Blitz Babes versus Unshakable. Hadlock, Montoya, Takanas and Barragan, part and parcel of Unshakable. Hadlock's had a second, Barragan's had a third. You can never discount Takanas and Montoya. The Blitz Babes, I think, are going to go up against them head-to-head. I think Elos has had a 5th, Goodall's had a 4th and a 3rd. Karwazuska and Latrigla, always really strong. The Speed Busters took first place last month. Sopas has had a 5th place. Krasova, Halmarson and Stenman making up that squad. Tanya Holweiler and the Pedal Queens, she's had a 2nd place. She's got Sonnerson, De Grazia and Schultz. Could go well, but I do think it's going to be a really strong competition in this team in Category 4. The Gear Goddesses as well, you know, Van Rossum, if Van Rossum is on form, the Gear Goddesses could put in a strong performance. Van Rossum's had a 2nd and a 3rd this month. Anna Freyas, interestingly, holds the PR on this course in Cat 5. She has obviously progressed to Cat 4, but she still holds the course record for Cat 5 at 66 minutes 25 seconds. And that's going to stand her in good stead today.
Now, just watching Louisa Schultz go flying through there, taking the fastest sprint time. They all came in pretty much together, but clearly out the front there. Although being challenged, he's going to take away top spot. It's Schultz from Van Rossum, from Fryers, who Emma was just talking about, and then Kawuska scoring 2 points. Emma Sonson taking the last point, which was available. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Points available for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And as you can see, this is exactly what we were talking about. You come through that sprint, the regroup just starts, and then you're on to this climb, which was always the initial kick as they came in and through. So the riders just going up that. This group keeping together as you come up and over the top here. So very interesting to see. At the moment, everybody looking like they've got this. Dalsonoson just squeezing.
Yeah, causing contention at the back. You know, we've got one rider now just dropped off, and I think we're going to have one or two in trouble. They really need to hope that Sonoson sits up and pushes back off of those pedals, or pulls back off those pedals, should I say, because we've got a couple of riders in danger at the back.
And as you can see, we're just going underneath that UCI banner. This is our finish line. In fact, in 2 laps time, we go underneath this banner 3 times in total. We do that first little start section, and we do the laps on the way around the loop to get our riders in and through. So 3 race starts already complete and underway. We have our next riders.
I wanted a little drum roll then.
Down in the pen. You wanted a little drum roll? No, I don't know whether the mic's actually picked that up here in the Full Speed Event Studios. At the moment, we've got our first 3 sets of riders. 6 race starts as always on the Sunday Race Club. If you are new to the Sunday Race Club, thank you very much for joining us. We are here each and every Sunday, in whatever, no matter what, whether there are World Championships or MyWhoosh Stage Race Championships going on, we are here each and every week bringing you the race action. Myself, Matt Payne. You can follow me at Matt Fixpen. You can follow Emma at Biking_Emma. I don't know whether there is an at Cinnamon Bun Race Team Instagram account, but I think there really should be, with the love of cakes that is present here in category 3, the Cinnamon Bun Race Team, with Crank the Cake, Spice Wheels, Sunday Sweat, the Wanderers, What Warriors, and the Yellow Squad. Big squad of riders from pretty much all of the teams, with Crank the Cake having 5 riders along with the What Warriors and Yellow. They are the teams with the biggest representation at the moment, and we're going to see if that's going to count, because although 3 riders to count, you can have a maximum of 5 riders in your team. And it does mean if you have an issue that you're able to back those riders up. So we saw category 6, 5, 4 go. It's category 3 about to hit the start. It's time to go racing here on MyWhoosh in Australia on the Wollongong course. This course, with this early sprint, going to change the dynamics of the race in each of our race categories as we go through. It certainly has so far with that quick start, and at the moment the rider's heading out at the moment 36 kilometers now, very quickly climbing up towards that 40k an hour marker. And this flat start, Emma, well, if you're in a big team and you're in trouble, you could get a little bit of help with people coming back for you. Hopefully, though, you're going to be able to save that energy, and that's going to be important later on.
It is, but the fast pace out of the pen here in category 3 has settled down now, and they've settled down very, very quickly. Bradley, Daniels, Vasquez, Johnson, Dowling, Kasani, all in the mix. 38 riders. This is our largest race field today, and I think it's going to be seriously competitive. So the Cinnamon Bun Race Team, Nyquist had a 4th and a 5th. Daniels has had a 4th. McKay and Gino are part and parcel of that, and we know Gino can sprint. Crank the Cake should go well. Kate McLeod, Birdie tells me there's a birthday there today. She took her first win last week, 1st place and a 2nd this month. She's joined by Holly Bergin, Lee Sophie Ramett, Patty Kineberger, who's come up from category 4, and Stephanie Briggs. She's had a 4th and a 5th this month as well. That cake should crank strongly. The Spice Wheels, Vasquez has had a 5th. Sunday Sweat, Vellner's had a 3rd. The Wanderers could be in the mix. Ever strong, these riders. Altamarino's had a 2nd and a 3rd. Banilla's had a 4th. Lam Kong, Philippa Hill, all in their hill climbs well. The What Warriors, a large amount of this squad have come up from category 4 this month. Bulwara, Hyde, Simkin and Johnson. And then Yellow. They must be looking forward to the Tour de France, which starts surely. Nielsen's had a 3rd and a 4th. Montgomery, Beltran, Kasani and McAlpine, part and parcel of that squad. And then we have a number of riders who are here as individuals today. Well, Anna Embring, whilst I have been talking, has been pedaling and doing the business. She's in that sprint skin suit.
She is indeed. Anna Embring taking the maximum 5 points from Ciciola in 2nd place, taking 4 points. Catherine Nielsen taking 3 points in 3rd. With Claudia Hyde taking 2 points in 4th place. And it's going to be Marisol Ortiz taking the 1 point for 5th place. Emily Nyquist not taking any points that time, but actually coming in 6th position, just missing out on the points there. And Am I right in thinking that you've spoke to Emily Nyquist before you dived into the studio?
I speak to quite a lot of people.
Yes.
But she is indeed one of the riders I have spoken to today. She is indeed. She is, a little change in the Nyquist household today. Normally, she rides and races at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday from sunny Bangkok.
Okay, so
Today, she's visiting family in Colorado,
wow.
which makes it 1:45 a.m.
Morning,
Emily
just Emily.
Nyquist, congratulations. You win time zone change of the week.
that could be a new competition. You never know.
Can I just
time
say?
zone change of the week.
Can I just say? Imagine living in Bangkok. Fabulous place. Visiting family in Colorado. Fabulous place.
Yes, yeah. I mean, brilliant places, but an altitude change as well.
Oh, massively.
That altitude change is going to make a difference, of course, with the oxygen levels that are available, and of course, getting used to that. So that takes some time. But then returning back down to sea level, you get that benefit once you've got over the travelling and the time zone change. Seba Alright, I think in the familiar pain cave that we see at the moment. Good to see you, Seba, who's here on our screens, clearly navigating the Zoom room with aplomb.
Can I just say, anyone who will take a look at Alray, who's just waved to us and she's wearing gloves,
Yes.
and go, why is she wearing gloves indoors? Well, I can tell you, I know the reason I sometimes wear gloves indoors.
Go on.
And that's because the room is so cold and the fans are blowing. Your hands get chilly.
Okay. I always wear mine for grip because when I pull on the bars, I don't want to be slipping and sliding. But and also, it's kind of like feels like I should be riding bike. I was brought up always wearing gloves on the bike, so I always, although it's usually mitts in fairness, not full gloves. It is. Emma's now just sat in the studio looking at her hands.
I've been known to wear full finger gloves indoors because I have had the room so cold and the fans blowing so strongly that my hands have chilled beyond necessary.
Are you a bit like Matthew van der Poel, who we know he's out and racing when he takes his gloves off?
No.
They're not going to be Alpecin gloves.
No.
After, because he's just announced he's big news that he's leaving the Alpecin de Koenigsegg.
Well, I'll tell you something.
At the end of the season,
Barbara Balwara has left Category 4 and she's now firmly ensconced in Category 3.
And got the
We've
gloves
got her
off
on
as
the
well.
screen at the moment. Her gloves are off. She means
truly.
business today. She's part and parcel of that Warriors squad and tucked in tightly to that Category 3 pack. And really good to see this Category 3 pack rolling strongly. Category 3, now for me, it's really interesting because I have done some sums, obviously.
You said that, not me.
Category 3 have had 4 different winners over the 4 qualification races. And that's been a really interesting, very much similar in Category 2 and Category 4. 13 different riders in the top 5 this month over those 4 races. So that really allows us to see the strength and depth of the race field. Not as many as Category 4. Category 4, 17 different riders have had top 5 positions. And bear in mind, the maximum number would be 20. So for me, Category 4, the most competitive race field that we have today racing in the June final. 17 riders have had top 5 positions this month. 4 different riders have taken the win. Category 3, not far behind, 4 winners, 13 different riders in the top 5. Category 3 never disappoints, because we often see packs coming into the finish. They are so strong together. Well, Dominique Charlebois on our screen at the moment, she's doing the business in Category 6. She's right on the wheel of Brooke Samuel. They're on the climb for the first time, and this is so steep. It's 17% just shy of here. And we can see Charlebois, she's got a good cadence going at the moment on that bike. Brooke Samuel, the rider ahead of her. Trudy Stevenson, Judith Narvaez, Angie Solorzano, all within 2 seconds of each other. Agadello is at 5 seconds. Finichkorn Sarasuk is at 7. She climbs strongly, but not necessarily. She's not really a fan of when it is exceptionally steep. But it's a good-sized group, still in contention as they really start this main section of the Wollongong climb.
So on to the climb at the moment, and just making the way up on that first section of the climb. Really, really tough climb this in Wollongong.
Yeah.
It's one of the climbs that a lot of the riders really dislike because it is so steep
so
rather
steep.
than long. Now we're going to switch across to a rider who we know can climb well. That's Anna Emring in here with the Category 3 group. This is our leading group in Category 3. All of the pack pretty much all together here. You can just see Emring getting out of the saddle in person on the left-hand side there, the window wide open to allow that airflow and that air movement. Now she gets out of the saddle. She's wearing the green skin suit of the sprint leader. The next, and it will go back through past that sprint, is back around. They've got to go over the top of the Wollongong climb. Just a one sprint banner today, although we go through it twice during the course of the race and on the way in towards that last run into the finish. But Anna Emring at the moment in this pack, nicely rolling over the top there, and that little bit of a kick that you put in as you go up over the climb, really, really key. I'll lead it on the road though, left-hand side of your screen, and that is Brooke Samuel, and Brooke Samuel out of the saddle here, opening up a gap at the moment to the riders behind. We have two more groups of riders to go. They're going to be our Category 2 riders with the green jerseys, and our Category 1 riders, the elite riders at the top of the tree. They are the riders with the yellow jerseys on, and they're going to be setting off. They've got 6 minutes to their race start. At the moment, just over a minute Category 2 race start. Just in with Brooke Samuel at the moment, just you can see really tapping out a rhythm, sat there nice and smooth in person, keeping the revs high, 95, 96, just gone over the top of, it's a little bit of a step before you go up again. It looks like it levels out, it doesn't, it's still 6%, but compared to the rest of the slopes, it really, really, it feels like you've gone almost onto the level when you climb up there. Okay, let's go across to our next race start. This is Category 2. Our penultimate race start here today. Now, the ABUS Esports squad, Schneider joining Thompson and Rosa, one of the few changes actually in that women's race field. Antipodean Racing Team are here, 3 riders for them, same as ABUS Esports, 5 riders for the core squad, 3 for the Globetrotters, the United Cadence squad. They have 5 riders as well, as do the Velocity Viking. The What squads down to 4 riders, but that may not count against them. We've got some really strong individual riders as well. It's going to mix things up in Category 2, who head out on to the course here in Wollongong. Our penultimate race start out and away from the team pens here and heading out on to the course proper. We're in with Madana Degamashandi, one of our real strong riders in this race field, and a rider who really excels when the going gets tough. Definitely a rider who's a rider who we really enjoy watching when she goes on the offensive, on the attack, and definitely a rider who can lead out. Leading the course at the moment, out on the course, Brooke Samuel about to crest the top of the climb for the first time here today. Brooke Samuel is going to take away the points in that mountains competition, the climbs competition, 2 times up the climb of Wollongong, and as she goes up over the top, she gets that polka dot skin
I was going to
suit.
say, I was waiting for the sigh of relief, and I think it sort of came. Samuel up and over the top. There is a nasty little kicker, but at least you've got the descent and the momentum from the descent to run into it.
And big gaps here, just opening up behind before we go back to our previous race start categories, Category 2. Shelbar just behind, only a few seconds behind. We saw coming over the top. About 15 seconds gap between Samuel and a big chasing pack.
Yeah, it is indeed. And that Category 6 pack, our first set of riders out the start pen. Our last set of riders out the start pen so far, 0.8 of a kilometre under their wheels at the moment. And they're about to come into the first sprint of the day. So Real, Walkenhurst, Nordin, Engstrom, Garea, the Category 2 pack. Now 33 riders on the start sheets, and the team competition is going to be so strong. United Cadence are strong. X had a first and a second. Miros has had a 5th. Denton's had 2 4th places. They're joined by Lethbridge and Manshandi. The Velocity Vikings, Engstrom's had a 4th. London's had a 5th. Gothlander has been so dominant in the sprints and the climbs. Nordin is in there as well. Antipodean Racing, Guerrero's had a 2nd. and a fifth. Davidson and Marb are in there as well. Now, Core took the win last month. Kalman's had a fifth. She's joined by Gonzalez Ruhr. We know she can sprint, so she should go well on these climbs. Hakkinen, Karamani, and Tilly Field on that squad.
Can I just jump in with the sprint?
Yes, of course.
Just whilst you were going through those teams, just keeping an eye on the sprint going through there.
Teamwork.
Really interesting tactics there from Anna Svardström, who came through to take that because she jumped before we came into the sprint itself and went clear. Her teammate, Gottlander, who is a big favourite when it comes to any kind of sprint, went later, was at the front of the bunch, but she the draft and had all the work to do herself as well. Because she came in and jumped inside the sprint, she was starting at a slower pace and lost time. So it was Farstrom going through. Goslander in the end only taking third place because Christine Schneider taking second place. So Farstrom in first, Schneider in second, Goslander in third, Gemriel in fourth, and then Maria Marb in fifth. They're the point scorers in category 2.
Well, making use of the momentum that you can carry into the start of a sprint, absolutely key. And we saw that in the World Championships from Team USA in the men's competition. Absolutely textbook, utilising the course, utilising the momentum on the run-in.
Yeah, very much so, and taking people by surprise as well. And I think that's what Swanson did there. People were expecting it to go a little bit later. She went really early, and it made all of the difference in terms of that time. But it's both Velocity Vikings, Swanson and Goslander taking points there, although jumping in Abus eSports rider Christine Schneider. Now let's go to our last set of riders to leave the pens. It is going to be our Category 1 riders. Our block internationals, Kolczynski, Hermansen, Holcroft, McCarthy and Soderstrom. 5 riders up against 4 riders from the Cat 1 Outcast, Kittel, Filensky, Wagner and Penner. The Supernova squad, well, they have 5 riders with Van Hove, Caramella, Tomasi, Kolkowitz and Giovanni. The Sweat Sensations have 4 riders on their team, Guerra, Fua, Bruni and Meyer. In breakaways, 3 riders, so they're going to need to get every rider across the line to count for that team competition. That's Alberg, Van Heuling and Bjarhead. And the Watt sisters, so they have 4 riders, so they do have 1 rider to spare. Gallegos, Velt, Van Short and Brook, with 1 solo rider by my reckoning, which is Alexi Snova from the United States of America. Big, strong team competition today. Lots of individuals. And whilst we maybe think we've got some nailed-on favourites for the number 1 spot, I think the battle in the 3rd, 4th and 5th, and remember the team prizes go to 7th, is going to make a difference. We are good to go. That's all our riders out from the pens here on the June finals on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Coming to you live. Do make sure that you subscribe for all of the race action on that YouTube channel.
Well, I'm going to be a little controversial because I'm going to say, well, there's 26 riders on the start sheets today in Category 1. For me, the Category 1 race is, this is going to be sounding very bad, the least competitive. Okay, 2 riders have dominated the top spot this month. Only 7 riders have been on the top 5. Okay, which tells me that we've got some really, really dominant riders. And within that group, there's some really competitive racing. It's very unlike the other women's categories where the top 5 is wide open and we see constantly different riders coming through. For me, our block international versus Sweat Sensations, they're the 2 top teams. They are the 2 top teams most months. They do switch it around between them, so we do see competition. Kolczynski's had a 4th and a 5th. Holdcroft's had 2 thirds. Soderstrom's had a 4th. And by the way, Mika Soderstrom, congratulations for retaining your Swedish road race national championship title yesterday. 2 years in a row, Mika Soderstrom has now won the Swedish Road Race Championships. That in itself is a phenomenal achievement. And she's doing it while she's racing the Sunday Race Club most Sundays. Congratulations coming from the studio today.
Definitely, 100%. And lots of those nations having the having their championship. So congratulations to everybody who's got good performances in those.
Catherine Furot on our screen at the moment from the Sweat Sensations. She's had 2 seconds and a 4th this month. Guerra's had 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Bruni's had a 3rd, 2 fourths and a 5th. And Nicole Meyer is part and parcel of that team. They were second last month to Ablock International by 16.3 seconds. So these 2 teams do battle royale every monthly finale. Now, what I would love to see in Category 1, and this is where I'm getting a bit controversial, is I would love to see the other teams deliberately trying to mix it up and deliberately trying to take it to Ablock International and Sweat Sensations and do something they're not expecting. Cat 1 Outcasts, Kittel, Falensky, Wagner and Penner. You know, we do see them attack. You know, Kittel and Falensky, we saw attack in Category 2. Dana Wagner is an attacking type of rider. And Tiffany Penner has got a massive sprint. I really would love to see these other teams in Category 1 really try and work out how they interfere and determine the racing in Category 1.
There you go. That is your mission, should you choose to accept it. Choosing to accept the sprint mission, Filensky taking top spot there in Category 1. It was Filensky from Snova. Those 2 riders going through at the head of Category 1 in terms of sprint times. It's a long way down, in fact, to get to our 3rd rider over the line in Category 1 in terms of times, and that is because of the pace. I think it was Van Hove coming through, then McCarthy and Holcroft. They're down in the hundreds, quite literally. That's how far down they are. But congratulations to everybody taking prizes so far.
I am going to caveat what I've just said about Category 1, just a little caveat.
Yep.
And I am going to say the world-class performances we see from Ablock International and from Sweat Sensations are a joy to watch week in, week out. All I'm asking is that the other teams just try and mix it up a bit.
It sounds very reminiscent of a conversation that was on a podcast that I was listening to, which was about the domination of what do you do about UAE and Tadej Pogacar in a tour, and how do you deal with that? And they were saying, well, just basically everybody needs to ride hard against UAE and Tadej Pogacar and distance his team. And they said, but in doing that, all that ever happens is that they leave everybody else. It leaves Tadej on his own. So he goes on the attack, and it's basically Tadej against them, against one rider, because nobody else can stick with them either. So it's almost counter. It's a really difficult conundrum to face. It's a really difficult problem to have. But that's part of iRacing, and that's what makes it good.
Make it exciting for the viewers.
It certainly does. Now, I have got a little bit of housekeeping. If you were listening earlier on, you will know that if you are riding and you are listening to us live and you're racing, please can you follow the important on the screens for the Zoom room? The instructions are, make sure, which I'm sure you have all done, put your full name, basically the same name that you have on the screen on the right hand side, so that we can identify you across and make sure that we've got the right rider, the right person to the avatar. Do please make sure that you put your auto rotate on your phone and put it in landscape mode. We don't want to put you on screen in a little tiny portrait. This is not you sitting down for your company photograph, your team photograph. This is not so that you are there ready to go with an animated start of a World Cup race start. No, this is so that we can see you in action live, and we would love to do it as Francesca Tomasi has done, former to Francesca Tomasi and team. A fantastic landscape shot. Thank you very, very much, guys. Nice to see a big range of bottles there as well. Lots of fluids clearly going to be heading the direction of Tomasi today.
Windows open.
Windows open, and if Tomasi is in mainland Europe, as I suspect she is, it is going to be about 38 to 40 degrees C at the moment. And while some nations enjoy that all the time, UAE comes to mind, that's not particularly hot for the UAE. Not all European nations are designed for those temperatures in terms of their infrastructures and their buildings. They are definitely starting to get hotter and hotter.
Well, talking about designed for climbing, the Wollongong Climb, we've had a number of our race fields go over the top now. Category 3 have literally just gone over the top, and I can tell you 14 riders in that leading group. It was led by Katarzyna Velna. She's gone over and will be in that polka dot skin suit. Ortiz, Altamirano, Montgomery, Nielsen, Bonilla, Embring, Beltran, Briggs. Bradley, McAlpine, Kienberger, Gino, and McLeod have all gone over the top. Very, very quickly, though, the second group goes through. Vasquez, Bergin, Molnar, Daniels, McKay, and Simpkin. It's a big pack of Category 3 riders. Category 4 have gone over the fastest time. Gina Van Rossum from Keely Bennett, Sabrina Hortner, and Emily Sopers. Category 5, it was Natalia Idzik from Amy Loxley, from Katie Bago and Isabel Alzat. And Category 6, we saw Brooke Samuel put in that storming performance, going over ahead of Dominique Charlebois, Fanucci Korn-Sarasuk, Angie Solizano, and Juliet Narvaez.
So that was on the top of the climb, on the first ascent of the climb. We're now into beach sprint number 2. Category 6 have just gone through. 10 riders going through so far. Scriven, Barco, Holtman, Shalbois, and Samuel, the riders who've gone through. They have been eclipsed, though, by Hamilton, who was not inside the first 10 riders, but goes through in with the group of Category 5 riders that are on your screens going through that sprint. So Hamilton in here goes through, takes the points, racing with the Category 5. So although she wasn't top spot initially on sprint number 1, she has got that spot on sprint number 2. The second place going to Johnson now, and then Scriven. Now in Category 5, it was Loxley from Warren, from a Presidio, and then Gaviria, and then Tijeras. But it's a huge pack, and they're back onto this climb. So after the sprint, you go back onto this climb. We're coming around at the top of this climb towards that banner, and we complete the first full lap.
And this, for our viewers, is the run into the women's finish. The men, or when they race Wollongong, and we'll see them race later, finish at the top of the climb. The women, however, finish on the run into the city. They come up and over this bridge, and then it's a long run on the top to the finish line. You can see it there. They're going out for another full lap of this course. And when they come in here, they're getting sight this time round of how the finish will run. And this at the moment is a huge pack of Category 5 riders all coming into the city together. On the right-hand side of your screen, the Category 4 leading group are around 1.8 kilometres behind them. Not quite so big, this group, but Ellos, Stenman, Horner, Van Rossen, Sopers, Bennett, Hadlock, Barragan, all in here. It's just 2 seconds back to the next group, so those two groups could come together.
And you can see the polka dot skin suit there of Gina Van Rossum at the moment. She took the climbs. The sprint competition at the first lap was actually taken by Louisa Schultz, and I haven't seen Schultz in this leading group at the moment. So it was Schultz from Van Rossum, from Fryas, Kawazuska, and Sonnerson. They were the point scorers the first time through the sprint. Category 4 heading in towards the sprint for the second time. Remember, it's the cumulative points that get you that skin suit overall, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out as they go through the sprint this time round. The rider who really still looks like they're going to profit if Schultz is not in that group and is looking like she's not is Gina Van Rossum, if she can maximise the points in that sprint. Now, categories 2 and 1, well, they're a little bit further back on the course. You can see category 2, there's a huge bunch of riders coming into the Wollongong climb at the moment. That is massive. That's a very big pack. I think pretty much everybody in there. And category 1, are almost out on a club run at the moment.
Well, I was about to say, I was going to caveat this by saying they are like, what are they? 6, 7, 8, 9, 3.5 kilometres back nearly. That's a massive gap with the 5-minute distance between Category 1 and Category 2. And Jermaine Prado, part and parcel of the leading group in Category 2, heading into the Wollongong climb at the moment. Category 1 are having a very, very steady start. And for me, that just plays into, McCarthy's hands. It plays into Guerra's hands. It really plays into the hands of those riders who will attack on that climb.
I think the problem is that you can see here, I mean, Jermaine Prado, Category 2 have been racing the way in, I think, and into the climb. And there's been attacks, there's pushes, and Prado knows that because they are also so closely matched in Category 2, what happens is you need to be competitive on the little short climbs, you need to be competitive on the big climb. You can't save anything anywhere because at some point, somebody's going to have a go. Now, in Category 1, the problem is if you work really hard on the early sections of the climb, on the early section of the course, before you get to the climb, all you're doing in some ways, and I know you said that you're handing it to the explosive climbers like McCarthy on the climb, but they're also good on those short, sharp sections on the run in, and that makes it really difficult because they are at the moment.
I know,
mean,
and the team
they're world
competition,
championship medalists.
and the team competition comes in the final, and we know that riders, they want to limit their losses so that they perform really well there. But Natalia Izik is one of the riders for me who's been performing really well this month. She's done superb work on the sprint. She's done some great work on the climbs. She's had that 3rd place overall as well, and she's right in the front of this leading pack. She could be one to watch today because this is the type of course that could really, really suit her.
Some riders go well when it's hard. Some riders are better when you've got a bit more racing headroom. So when you're right on the limit all the way through, and everybody's on the limit, and it's a really hard race all the way through, some riders are really good at that. Other riders want the race to have not the parkour not be as so hard in between, so that you race in specific. You race on specific key points. The rest of it, you've got a little bit more space. You've got more headroom in there. And I think it depends on the type of rider.
Yeah.
Idzik, for me, is a rider who likes there to be no edge. She wants it hard all the way through. And she's really suited to a course like this. And I think that's one of the reasons why, although, we focus on the Wollongong climb, there's so much other climbing elsewhere on this course. It really does make life difficult.
Well, the leaders in the Category 5 race now catching the chasers, I think. I'm just taking a little look on the screen. I think there's 2 groups now of Category 6 ahead. But Isabel Alzat on our screen at the moment, and you can see there the concentration now. The Category 5 leading group, she wants to stay in there. This course is really interesting because there is almost as much climbing on the rest of the course as there is on the Wollongong 2 climbs. So this is a really technically challenging course because it is constantly changing gradient. It's up, down, up, down, up, down. You talked about headroom. You've got a punch, you've got a little respite, you've got a punch, you've got a little respite. You've got to be able to make the most of those micro rests when you can. But Warren, Loxley, Ferron, Tejeros, Bago, Alzat, Giraldo, Vink, all in this leading group of 5, and they're catching now and sweeping up some of the previous riders, or the riders who started ahead of them in Category 6. Barco is in the mix with them, and there's nothing against the rules that says those Category 6 riders can't sit in that bunch.
And sitting in the bunch is so key. Now, just so we go back to drafting and staying in the draft being so important. That's one of the things, isn't it? When you are in that group, you've got to be in the group as it goes over the rollers. And for me, this course really does. It's one of those courses because the pace is high on the rollers. You are getting draft on the short, sharp, punchy little sections and on the downhill sections because riders are taking them so quick. Yes, once you're onto the climb, you can see Category 2 climbing at 20k an hour. It's not so important. It's still there. But for me, this is a course where being in the draft is key. And I know you were on the time trials. I'm really pleased. I'm very proud that Full Speed Events is actually doing some time trial. If you go onto the MyWhooshInfo.com site at the moment, the team time trials are on there. And
I can't remember, we've got 4 or 5 squads running this week.
Yeah, and I know that you've been doing a lot of work on the Discord channel, chatting with a lot of riders, trying to pull more riders in to get some more practice in that draft and to get the experience of riding in the draft. And tell for anybody who doesn't know, tell people why that practice is important.
Well,
why are you doing this practice?
It's all about energy conservation and understanding the draft dynamics, so that you can make the most of your racing and you know where to position yourself in a race. It's no different to riding a road race or a track race and learning to sit on a wheel. It's exactly the same thing. You're trying to do energy conservation. You're trying to think about your positioning within the group. And what we've been doing on those team time trials is literally the last few weeks trying to understand the draft and trying to work out exactly where you need to be and how you need to position yourself to benefit from it most. Yaramillo on our screen at the moment, she's just gone into the polka dot skin suit. This is Category 2, and they've just gone over the top of the Wollongong climb for the first time. Great racing from Category 2.
She's a rider who we know has got those race skills sitting in the draft.
24 riders going over the top of that climb in Category 2 in contention. It's a massive group. Look at it.
It is a huge group, and you've got to have that draft skill, even if you're a great climber like Sharon Miller clearly is, because she's taken away those points and has got the skin suit of the polka dot skin suit of the best climber. You still got to be able to do the draft, and you've got to stay in there. And traditionally on the road, that's where climbers have always failed. They're not as good when it comes to that drafting. They generally don't have that same massive output that works on the flat or on the downhill. Now, category 1, I would say everybody's good at everything. You don't get to be a category 1 rider.
Oh, they are phenomenal all-rounders.
And not have those skills. But it's then working out how to use them, because you've got so many good riders who are also skilled. Finding a chink in the armour, finding those little weaker points.
One of the real interesting bits about this course, and for those of you who've been with us on the Sunday Race Club for some time will have spotted this before, this 2-step climb here in Wollongong is really interesting, because you come up the first part here and it is steep. It's currently around 9%, and then you drop over the other side, and if a little gap forms on this one, you can use the momentum to drop down and actually give you a run into the second spot. There is Mika Soderstrom on the turbo. She's part and parcel of the pack here. 2 times Swedish road race champion.
Morning, champ.
Congratulations. She must be feeling on a high today. I bet she's got tired legs, though, but maybe not. You never know. These are world-class riders. Mika Soderstrom also part and parcel of that World Esports Championships as well. Phenomenal all-round rider. She's with Fuhr, Bruni, Kolczynski, Wagner, Caramello, Penner, Van Hove, Kolkwitz. They're all in the mix as they sweep down onto the descent. Time for a micro rest or a push on, and we've seen some riders push on really successfully from the back of the group to the front of the group on this section and launch themselves onto the second part of the climb.
Yeah, I think this is, for me, this is one of those sections where if you've raced this route as well as ridden this route, getting that race speed experience of this section of the course is really, really key. So it's not just about riding the course, it's also about racing the course. And that is really, really critical. So getting out and racing, whether that's on a team time trial, whether that's going out and racing one of the Masters races, whether it's one of the MyWhoosh Classics, whether it's on the Sunday Race Club, just getting lots of racing in, really, really key.
Can I just caveat? If anybody would like to join our team time trial, please just get in touch.
And you don't need to be a team part of the Full Speed Events team. It's not like it's our staff team. It's not this is for every rider.
It is literally just anybody who wants to learn or race team time trials. And we've got riders from Cat 2 to Cat 6 to not even racing Sunday Race Club. So just come along. It's all about learning and developing your skills, and then
sharing those skills, I guess, because there's a lot of shared knowledge as well.
If Bridget Kiddle wants to join us, she's more than welcome. I tell you something, she's a rider that is absolutely phenomenal. Up and out of the saddle, there she is, digging deep. She's one of those riders for me who's come up from category 2, and I just love watching Bridget Kiddle race. She is aggressive, she is determined. She's if she was a dog, she'd be a Jack Russell Terrier.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Resilient, determined.
I think you may, yes. You do need to qualify that statement.
Can I qualify it with, they're one of my favourite breeds of dog?
There you go. Okay.
I grew up with 6 Jack Russell Terriers.
That sounded very, very strange.
And a family.
Not in the kennel. You mean they actually were in your family home? You didn't grow up in the kennel with them.
I didn't grow up. No, this is going really the wrong way now.
It's kind of, yes. This could be. So anyway, other dog analogies.
It was from my perspective. That was
tenacious,
very positive.
Yes, good. Should we move on? Okay, now we are seeing our top 2 riders here, Mary-Kate McCarthy and Gabby Guerra on the attack. No surprises from anybody who's watched the Sunday Race Club regularly. However, it's not a huge gap. 7 seconds to Fuhr and Holcroft. And if you have watched regularly, you'll know that when we come over the top here, we have a descent. There's a little lip, a little rise that you need to go over on the other side. It's almost a double Twin Peaks summit, not like the dodgy 1990s TV program of Twin Peaks. It is an over-the-top drop down and up the other side. Definitely not as dark as that either. Lots of sunshine here in Australia. But to go over the top 2 leaders in Category 1, Mary-Kate McCarthy and Gabby Guerra, both medalists at the World Championships in Abu Dhabi last year.
Gold and silver.
Gold and silver. And don't forget that you can get hold of lots of details of the World Championships for 2025, not just on the MyWhoosh.com website, but also on the UCI.org website.
Well, take a look at that. McCarthy saying the fastest time, 4 minutes 35. Yaramillo in Category 2, 5:19. Velna Category 3, 5:41. Van Rossum Category 4, 6:03. Idzik Category 5, 7:17. And Brooke Samuel Category 6, 8:07. Can I just tell you, one of my most endearing memories of growing up was when we had Jack Russell puppies. They were so tiny you could fit them in the pocket of your dressing gown.
Enough of the Jack Russells.
Sorry, it just triggered my memories.
That's a new band name. Enough of the Jack Russells.
Oh, that'd be a good group, wouldn't it?
Yeah, band name. New bad name alert. Okay, let's go. Let's give you the results of that climb with Mary Kate McCarthy going over the top of the climb ahead of Gabby Guerra. You saw the two of them together. Then it was the other medalist at the World Championships, Catherine Fuhr, going through in third place with Holcroft, Kolchinsky, Mayer, Tomasi, Kittle, Alberg and Bruni rounding out the top 10. Soderstrom in 11th place, Hermansen in 12th, Van Heuling in 13th, Bjarhead going through as well. In fact, we've had 23 of the Category 1 riders going over the top. They're all very, very closely packed.
Well, Pamplona, El Rey and Yaskalainen, 3 riders in the Category 5 race, are on the chase at the moment. There's a group 19 seconds ahead of them, and they are working well together, these 3, rotating through, and they've got 2 Category 6 riders in between the next Category 5 group ahead to help them and tow them. It's one of those minds, isn't it? You know, if you've got riders in sight, it really does help you and motivate you to draw towards them.
And this is where you need that team experience and that practice. One rider goes on the front, you sit there, then you come off, you hide behind, you do your recovery. With 3 riders, you're going to get twice as much recovery time as you are time on the front if everybody takes the turns evenly, but it needs everybody to work together. Work together, you close the gap. Don't work together, you lose the wheels and the gap will increase. Really, really key. So it requires effort and gap. Get that rest in. Always good to practice Seba Al-Rai here in the mix, but there are leaders up the road in Category 5. And remember, of course, wherever you are, if you're watching this live and you are racing, the riders are making the way in and through. So you do need to make sure that that you do get yourselves to that finish as fast as is possible.
Sorry, Phil. So we continue to kick on here with Anna Svanström on the front of the group. They're rolling in to the city. There we go. Anna Svanström decked out. Look at that medal wall behind her. That is one phenomenal set of medals lined up on that wall. I do love to see people's paint gauge. It's brilliant. She's in with the mix with Field, Lethbridge, Lennon and Karamani. Svanström tight in that bunch as they head into the city. As we said earlier, this is the run into the finish. Next time around.
I tell you, so that is a serious medal haul of medals on
Brilliant.
the wall there. And I love the Swedish flags there. It's great to see riders who are very, very proud to be riding in with their nations there, because that is a fantastic representation. And I think everybody who races for their nation really, really needs to be proud of it. I think it's one of those things that unites riders, but it also unites nations. The competition out on the road, on esports, whatever discipline it is, it's really good to see. Now, we're just going to go across. You see left-hand side of your screen, we're moving away with the Category 1 riders. At the moment, we have 2 riders who have broken clear, and that is Guerra along with McCarthy. McCarthy at 25 seconds down the road, Guerra at 15. They're individual riders. Now, this is where Holcroft, Mayer, and Co all need to be working together here. But the team dynamic is going to play towards this.
And this is what this is about, because Holcroft's on the Ablock International squad, and Mayer from Sweat Sensations is not going to let her go down the road. So Nicole Mayer, we can see on the screen at the moment, up and out of the saddle, pushing on, driving on here to close the gap down, because Soderstrom and Holdcroft from Ablock International are the riders going down the road. So exciting racing here on the Wollongong course. This is an attack. It's a team attack from Ablock International.
And they are going after the fact that they're trying to get riders up there. They've got McCarthy in 1, but you've got Guerra in 2. from the Sweat Sensation, sat in the middle. Then when you starting to see people being fired down the road from our block, you then seeing Holcroft trying to make the move across. That's when you go seeing that response from Maya here, because she doesn't want to let the gap go. You want to see her closing down. You want to mark rider for rider. You want to get that time in. Those team prizes are phenomenal.
Yep.
Don't forget, if you want all the details of the Sunday race, go to MyWhoosh.com. Now then go on to the events page and you'll find the Sunday Race Club, the general page on there. You can download the event manual. You can see the technical guide. You can get to see just what you need in terms of specifications, what you need to do. Every single rider in the Sunday Race Club is verified. This is not just top 3 or top 5 or just selected riders. Everybody is verified. This is fair racing.
Let's just talk about how close the team competition was last month in the women's race. So Category 1, our block international, took the win from Sweat Sensation, 16.3 seconds. When you bear in mind it's the 3 first riders from the team over the line, their times are added together. This is the time gap. Brooke Samuel, Category 6. Category 6 had the biggest time gap last month. Kitty Hawk Skyclaw from Cycle Chicks Outcast, 1 minute 46. But Brooke Samuel is climbing away from Dominic Chalbois at the moment on Category 6 as they head up the Wollongong climb for the second time. I'm going back to the team competition. Category 2 last month. Core from Antipodean Racing, 8.3 seconds. Category 3, Cinnamon Bun Race Team from the Diamonds, 24.5 seconds. Category 4, the Speedbusters from Gear Geeks, 14 seconds. Category 5, What Women from Team Aprea Power, 1.7 seconds. The team competitions are that close, and that is why we're seeing these Tim tactics on the road.
And you can see that playing out behind our race leader on the road, Brooke Samuel. You can also see it playing out down on the race route here. Now, Guerra has been pulled back by Holcroft, but Maya is also there as well. So you are seeing that move. Kittle is there. This is the big bunch. They are making the way up. You can just see at the moment Holcroft in front in that green skin suit is the rider just in front. They've just gone through that sprint that we saw early on, just making their way through the sprint for the second time. You can see here Holcroft holding that jersey. So Holcroft, Sfarsum, Embring, Horner, Lloyd and Hamilton, your individual category winners as they came through that time around. The points that they've scored, those 5 points each that they've scored, will be added to each of their individual totals. Each category, remember, has prizes for the segment, so everybody on your screen winning that segment prize, but also adding points to their total for the win overall.
And those of you who are eagle-eyed will note some of those names against those categories are different to the first time through the City Beach Sprint. So those sprint competitions for that overall title hotting up, one more sprint to go.
Category 1, interesting team tactics. Everybody pulled back together again in that leading group with the exception of McCarthy, who is up the road. Very front of the race, which is just up the hill here from Ella Vink, who's the rider that we are in with at the moment. As we chase up this climb, Brooke Samuel was leading at the very front. I think Samuel just being caught by the leaders in Category 5 at the moment, or just about to be caught. She's just in front of the Category 5 riders there. Then you've got some more of our Category 6 riders that you can see on your screen here, mixed in with Category 5 riders. Giuliano Agadello on your screens at the moment in Category 6, doing a great job here of holding the riders. She's sitting with Trudy Stevenson at the moment. Naves and Solizano are not that far ahead and doing a great job. Our Category 5 and Category 6 riders really racing this race.
And I can tell you, it doesn't matter whether you are Category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. The work is hard. The climbing is strong. And Agadello on our screen at the moment, absolutely a picture of concentration. She does not want to lose that wheel. Trudy Stevenson and Judith Narvaez are the riders she is hanging on to at the moment, and she's coming towards the top of the climb and going to be rewarded by going over the top with them.
Now, Brooke Samuel goes through. That's 2 climb wins for Samuel out of 2. And look at Loxley go over the top there, pushing on. She's just taken the fastest time. That was a big sprint from Loxley. She backs off to 0.7. But Idzik has scored more points. So Isaac now leads in category 5 in the climbs competition. Samuel leading in the category 6 competition overall, and that means that they are taking away those climb points and they will be winning their category, subject to any riders behind putting in a phenomenal climb.
So we now have a leading group of 11 riders. 9 of them are category 5. Category 5, 9 leaders: Loxley, Idzik, Alzat, Areas, Geraldo, Wilhelm, Restrepo, Ferran and Bago. In the mix with them are the 2 leaders in category 6, Samuel and Schalbois. Those 2 riders mixed in with the 9 that are in the category 5 pack. The chasing groups are now starting to go over the top of the climb. The chasing groups in both category 5 and the chasing group in category 6 as well. This race is not over yet in either of those categories. Big groups at the front in category 5, 9 riders, 2 riders in that group in category 6, but there is a chase going on in both of those races as well.
And we still have a substantial distance to get
6.4 kilometres
to the finish, and that's going to make a big difference. Remember, the total race distance here in Australian Wollongong in our women's race is 35 kilometres. Total height ascent 502 metres. Now, we've moved from the very front of the race to the last 2 groups of riders to lead the Pens. Category 2 leaders on the right-hand side of your screen. Your lone Category 1 leader on the left-hand side of your screen, with Mary Kate McCarthy being held at what is about 20 seconds by the pack behind. Now, this could be a good tactic. Let McCarthy go off the front, solo, make her work her socks off, solo, work together as a bunch, and save your energy, and see if by doing that race, not quite the whole race distance, but the majority of the race distance solo, can you then get her to wear herself out and make the most of that draft we were talking about earlier? Don't raise your eyebrows on microphone at me. That doesn't work. Now, Emma has registered there for those of you not viewing on the camera into production. Emma just gave me a very quizzical interest look. So the team in production, whilst they are able to see, nobody else can unless they surreptitiously sneak us back out to you. So I think that's a valid tactic. Make McCarthy work, go up the road, hold her at 20 seconds. You see that happen regularly on other types of racing. You would let a strong rider go, burn themselves out, and then as a group come back to them.
The challenge, though, is the current pace that McCarthy's riding at. She can hold for a substantial period of time.
Yes, I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm not betting on that one. We will see. McCarthy, right-hand side of your screen. Chasing, group behind, if they choose to chase on the left-hand side of your screen, they do need to keep her under touch. And you've got to remember, riders get things wrong. The best in the world get things wrong at times. Nobody is perfect, and people can have things go wrong. Not just the unexpected of
a sheep
issues
run out into the road,
or your internet goes down, or your turbo trainer breaks a bell, or you drop your bottle or your phone, which is when you really say. But it's also it's also the things that people get wrong. You miss a bottle. You don't do the fueling when you do. You don't take on board the gel or the jelly babies or whatever's fueling your ride. You don't get that quite right, or you've done more before you've gone racing than you realise. And those things also can affect, and riders blow and come back.
I agree completely. You know, one of the key things about bike racing is you've got to get over the line. And I know that sounds obvious, but it's not often obvious in terms of the fact that the only point in time you need to be at the front of the race and to get over the line is at the end of the race. But also, you've got to get the bike over the line. You've got to get yourself over the line. And, I was commentating on the XCE, the Mountain Bike Eliminator World Championships last week, and the number of riders who were expected to be in the final who didn't make it for a variety of reasons, most of them because they never got the bike over the line.
If you want to see lots of riders not making it through into
for a
finish,
lot of different reasons,
jump onto citymountainbike.com on the YouTube channel, and you can actually watch a lot of the XCE. And myself,
that World Championships last week was just in the men's race, went out so early, and just watching why.
No spoilers.
I'm not just by saying watching why is a really good reason to understand bike racing.
I did have it drilled into me when I joined my first cycling club that to finish first you got to finish.
Exactly.
Those old fellas.
Don't celebrate too early.
Yeah, that's also another one. Although we're not going to tell you whether that happens or not in the eliminator and whether it's going to happen here. We have seen it happening in esports as well. We've seen riders win and lose the race within the last few seconds as they come into the line. Will it be Arias's day to get her arms in the air for victory? She's leading on the road along with Wilhelm Bago, Loxley, Alzate, Restrepo and co. Big group of riders here. Arias riding well.
Yeah, she is indeed, and it's really interesting to see this pack now rolling really strongly at the front of the race. The Category 6 leaders in the mix with the Category 5 leaders. Gavaria Ares is riding well, and you can see the concentration here, desperate to stay in that group and be really key. They're at 61 minutes into the race, 32.9, so they're coming up to the 33-kilometre marker, so 2K to go. They've got a flat run, and you can see the run to the finish on the top right-hand corner of your screen. It's a flat run into that bridge across the water. And then, as we spoke about, the bridge across the water ends up on a flat transition into the finish line. We should see a kick go. Somebody will attack on that bridge. Whether they can hold that attack to the finish is often the key. We have seen people win from a long-range attack. We have seen people not in Wollongong as well. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in that Category 5 and Category 6 race.
And Arias that we were just in with her last and her first race win was back in October of 2024. So due a win, we'll see if she's going to be able to make it. We've moved across to Category 2. We're in with Sarah London, who's going into the Wollongong climb for the second time, the second of two ascents, currently at 26.3k. You can see this leading group still all together. Big group of riders here. London looking very comfortable at the moment there. Just tapping away that rhythm. The bikes in the background, a real mix of disciplines. So that really sums up a lot of our riders for me. Mountain bike, road bike, and the specialist smart bike there, the smart turbo there on the turbo is Sarah London on the course and on the climb. But we're going to go back down to our leading group. And I think Ferron has gone for a long one here, putting the pressure on.
Well, there we go. The pressure is going on, and it's Ferron at the moment who's pushing on here in this race. Wilhelm, Alza, Ox, Loxley, Bago, Restrepo, all in the mix here. Idzik is there as well. And this push is causing issues now. Category 6 still in the mix, and the Category 6 rider in the mix is the rider in the polka dot skin suit. There's 2 polka dot skin suits in that pack. It has only been Brooke Samuel who has been able to stay with this group. The other riders in the Category 6 race are just behind. Look at that. You can just see Dominique Schalbois at 6 seconds. She's with Danny Giraldo from the Category 5 race. So 8 riders in this group. Looking like at the moment 9 if you include Brooke Samuel. So 8 Category 5, 1 Category 6, 600 meters to go.
And that sprint, that third of the 3 sprints here today, as you go in and through, absolutely doing nothing. No difference. Nobody's gone for it. Now we go to the climb.
Well, we have indeed, and the push has come on the front of the pack, and it's Category 5 race, and it's Amy Loxley. No surprise, Loxley is pushed on early. Strong rider. Restrepo's gone too, so is Alza and Wilhelm. Areas is there. Brooke Samuel is hanging in, but she's got some gap back to Schalbois at the moment. She doesn't need to contend this with the Category 5 rider. She just needs to hold her position. Loxley, though, is contending this, coming towards the top of the climb. This is the flat run now. This is where the sprinters can go up and over the top, and Idzik is there in close contention. She's picking up the pace. She's the one to watch, I think. Gavaria Ares is now starting to move. Can Amy Loxley hold this? She's holding at about 5.8 watts per kilo. She was the first rider to go off the front of the group. Loxley is going to be rewarded, I think, with that early effort. Loxley continues to drive towards the line. Idzik, Restrepo, Ferron, Wilhelm can do nothing about it. It's Amy Loxley's today on the due final Category 5, 3 across the road. So Loxley from Alzat, from Restrepo, from Idzik, Gavaria Reyes is there as well. Brooke Samuel comes in top spot in category 6 across the line. 10 seconds clear of Dominique Charlebois. We can just see her there in the distance. She's going to come across the line for second place today.
So we have the finish of category 5, that run by Loxley to the line, giving her second win on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. June has been good to her because her first win was in qualifier race number 2.
And I can tell you, we've got our first team through in the team competition as well. And I think we are going to see the women win category 5.
Well, Loxley, Idzik and Bago will be the counting riders for them, with Loxley's win there aiding on the way through. Category 6, they've still got riders to come in.
Well, this is category 4, and we've got 4 riders in contention here. Van Rossum, Sopers, Horner and Bennett. At the moment, they're 7 seconds clear of Hadlock and Kawazuska, and it is indeed Gina Van Rossum who's gone early. She's done an Amy Loxley, but she's pushing on the climb, and she's in that polka dot skin suit. Gina Van Rossum's had a fabulous month on the Sunday Race Club. She's taken 2 third places. Is she going to take a first today? What can Keely Bennett do? Keely Bennett is coming hard behind her. She runs up into the draft. She goes up side by side. This is Van Rossum versus Bennett. What has Van Rossum got? Can Bennett hold this now? Oh, Gina Van Rossum tries to kick, but she's got nothing left in her legs. Keely Bennett is going to take this from Gina Van Rossum in category 4. Bennett takes the win. Van Rossum into Sopers, I think, comes through for third place in that category 4 race.
So Keely Bennett taking the win. I do think that was Keely Bennett's first race on the Sunday Race Club. So what a way to start off your racing. 1 race, 1 win. Meanwhile, just going back to our category 3 riders, they're on the way through the sprint. And this time round, there was close in the sprints competition. So those riders going through just before they get round onto the climb. Category 5 teams, What Women in 1, Black Panthers in 2, and a Rep of Power in 3.
Well, the category 3 race is coming to the final 500 metres, and there's a real mix of riders in here because there's category 4 mixed in and category 6. But Hal Marson is here, Goodall is here, Guiney is here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Takanis, Sonnerson, they're all in the mix. De Grazia is here as well. This is going to be a really interesting push. But at the moment, it is Velna in category 3, Ultramarino and Bonilla. Nielsen is there as well. This is the category 3 finish. They're coming towards the top of the climb. They're coming towards the run into the sprint. We've got Velna, Bonilla and Ultramarino side by side at the moment. But it is indeed Velna at the moment. Bonilla's gone over the top. Kim Bonilla, the young rider from the Philippines, is dialing it here. What a sprint coming out of her. Ultramarino, her teammate from the Philippines, is pushing on, but it's going to be Kim Bonilla who's going to take the win from Angelica Ultramarino and Katarzyna Velna are side by side. That's going to be a close run to the finish. That's going to be a camera shot. It's Ultramarino who gets it from Velna. Nielsen in 4th place. What a sprint in category 3. Anna Embring will take 5th and Ortiz will take 6th.
So Kim Bonilla took her first win on the Sunday Race Club in December of 2024. She takes her second win here in the finals in June. Great ride by her. You saw Velna there. And we've seen riders kicking early and making it to the finish, but we've also seen riders not using all of their power on that short, sharp climb and then having that kick left at the end to sprint over the top. Really, really interesting. It was very different finishes. Just comes down to what riders have left in the legs.
It is indeed. And category 2 and category 1 still out on the course at the moment. And we can see category 2, it is Sylvia Garea. She's come down off of the descent of the Wollongong climb for the second time. She's got a big chase group behind her. Lethbridge, Yaramillo, Manshandi, Vittori, Pruitt, all in the mix. Kalman is there as well. London is at 8 seconds. So there's another group not far back. Could come together in this 6-kilometre run towards the finish line. So the pack, you can see the 2 packs here in category 2. 4 riders here, 5 riders in the group 2. The riders up ahead. I think these 2 groups could come together.
So we're just going to keep our eye on that whilst I'll bring you some of the team results so far. We're going to start with Category 6. Tour de France at the moment have that team win in Category 6 from the Kitty Hawk Racing squad in there. 44 seconds separating them. In Category 5, it was the Watts women from Black Panthers from Arepa Power and then the Vipers. In Category 4, the team competition very, very close, but it was the unshakable team from the Speedbusters by 12 seconds. The riders, going through at 12 minutes, 12 seconds down. The Unshakable squad really coming through very close behind. So Unshakable from Speedbusters, from Blitz Babes, from Pedal Queens, from Gear Goddesses. All those teams in Category 4 already in. In Category 3, well, Yellow may have been inspired by that Tour de France because Yellow have taken the team win in Category 3 from Sunday Sweat and then the Crank the Cake team. So Kate McLeod, the birthday girl, taking a third place in that team competition.
Well, let me tell you, the Wollongong Climb lap number 2, as we've gone round, you can see the well, I can tell you, Kate McCarthy in Category 1 went up and over the top first, but the chase group of Guerra, Fua and Kulczynski have set the fastest time. Gabby Guerra setting the fastest time on the climb, 4 minutes 51. Guerra setting the fastest time in Category 2. Vellner in Category 3. Van Rossum in Category 4. Loxley in Category 5. And Brooke Samuel in Category 6. My question is, will the winners come from Category 1 and Category 2 as the fastest time over the Wollongong Climb? Because if you take a look at that list, not quite all, but they were right at the front of the race.
They were. Well, it's the rider who was kicking over that last climb coming in. Probably the exception almost to the rule of our race finishers so far. Now, just coming around the Vink overpass, as it is known due to the breakaway.
Where Vink used to attack.
Indeed, it was
many
one
years
of the
ago.
Early breakaways on the very early runs of this course. This little kick over and above over the top of the road is a breakaway point. It is a point for attack. It's somewhere where you can catch the unwary, but maybe its reputation now is one that precludes riders from going maybe quite so hard there as they come through. Category 2 together. If this comes down to a sprint, we've seen the team from the Velocity Vikings riding really strongly. Jennifer Goslander has been really nailing it for them. But is it going to be a day? Because we've seen Svartström doing the same as well.
Well, if this comes into the finish line together, Goslander has got to be one of the favourites. She really has. You don't want to take her into the finish line. You really, really don't, because she has got a phenomenal sprint on her. Mirrors, Goslander, Vittori, Manshandi, Engstrom, Field, just a phenomenal class group of riders. And it's a big group of riders coming into this finish line. They're at 2.8 kilometres. They're coming up to 2K to go. I would be watching Goslander.
And the other thing that is happening behind Mary Kate McCarthy is currently at 31.6k. She's 1.3k back, but she's motoring.
She is.
And she's got Category 2 riders trying to glue themselves to the back wheel, make the most of the draft. They've been sticking with her so far.
Oh.
It's only when it goes up a rise and over this overpass that they've not been able to stay. But they're not that far behind. But I tell you something, McCarthy's pace, phenomenal.
Yeah, it is indeed. And let's not forget, we talked about Mika Soderstrom retaining her national road race championships. Kate McCarthy, the world champion in cycling esports, took 3rd place in that New Zealand road race.
Well, she's world pro tour level.
She is, and that is what we are witnessing. Here she can time trial so strongly. She's just got the complete toolbox. She really, really has. I think almost like whatever you threw at her, she could cope with. But she is now leaving that group of Category 2 chasers. They are not going to get the toe back to the front group. They're going to run out of road to do that. But Kate McCarthy is clear, well and truly clear of the chase group behind of Guerra, Fua and Kulczynski.
I've got to say, big hats off to Hannah Hackinen for hanging on so long, trying to hold that draft. And she's used it to push on Ek Davis and not able to stay there. But
how do you get better? You sit on the wheel of a strong rider.
at the old club saying was, you don't get faster riding with riders that are slower than you.
Well, Hannah Hakkinen absolutely dialing it, desperately trying to stay on the wheel of the world champion. Congratulations and well done. Great strategy. Love it. Up the front of the Category 2 race, we've got 1K to go. Denton, Manshandi, Vittori, Gorea, Lethbridge, all in the mix. Gothlander is here. Yaramillo is here. Yes, most of these riders have taken wins in the Category 2 race at some time. It's going to be a fabulous sprint into the finish. Now, this is the sprint section, the final sprint section, the City Beach sprint for the third time. None of these riders pushing on here, you can see. And a real big push because the finish line is too close and they all want that finish line. That's the important line for them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 riders coming in. We're going to have an 11 up sprint in the Category 2 race. Who's going to blink first? Who's got the biggest kick? Well, we know Gothlander's got a massive kick on her. Someone's going to have to go really, really early to break that, I think. Well, 400 metres to go, and it's Engstrom, Lethbridge, Gothlander, Denton, Manshandi. The push now starts to come on the climb. There's no domination on the climb here, as we've seen in some of the other categories. Nobody riding away. Yaramillo in the polka dot skin suit, not making the most of this. She's pushing. So's Engstrom, so's Pruitt, so's Gothlander now. Gothlander starting to wind this up at 8 watts per kilo. Tilly Field is on the front here now. Field starting to push, starting to stretch. What can Field do? There's 200 metres to go. They're on the flat land now. Tilly Field opens up. Gothlander, Engstrom, Pruitt. They are all diving for it. Camilla Miros is coming as well. We've got Field. We've got Miros. Miros has gone over the top at 10 watts per kilo. Camilla Miros is going to take this from Field, from Engstrom, from Vittori and Denton. Let's just take a look when those results come through, because that was a great race. Miros from Field, from Engstrom, from Denton, from Vittori, from Pruitt, Gorea, Yaramillo, Manshandi, Gothlander and Lethbridge. The top 11 in the Category 2 race. And we drop in with Kate McCarthy.
So McCarthy leading in Category 1. She's not all that far from that same climb. Murros there, perfectly timed. Field was leading all the way up there, really keeping the pressure on, but Moroz had that kick at the end to take a third win on the Sunday Race Club. Category 1, though. Our lone leader is McCarthy. Behind you can see we've got Gabby Guerra and Catherine Furch. They've got 18 seconds at the moment to Holgroff, Kulczynski, Tomasi, who are the chasing riders behind Holgroff, Kulczynski together. Tomasi at 25 seconds, so a little bit further back that climb, the second time up the climb, and then the rundown has split these riders asunder, but no doubting our race leader at the moment. Mary Kate McCarthy are looking incredibly strong.
No, they are indeed. So McCarthy comes into the final 200 metres to go. This is the world champion. That is the UCI banner. This is the June final of the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. And Kate McCarthy has ridden away from the field on the climb. She's pushing on strongly. Kate McCarthy is your winner today on the June final of the Sunday Race Club. What a race by Kate McCarthy, yet again showing that climbing dominance as Fua and Guerra come on to the bridge.
So they're onto the bridge now. That makes McCarthy's 30th win on the Sunday Race Club. 37 podiums to date. That's now her 38th in 47 appearances.
Well, this is Fua versus Guerra, Guerra versus Fua. We're in with Gabby Guerra at the moment, and she's kicking on at the moment, but Fua is trying to match her. Fua lifts the pace. Fua tries to jump onto the wheel of Guerra. Guerra's put a massive dig in early. This is a sprint at the top of the climb from Guerra. Has she gone too early? Can Catherine Fua come back to her on the flat section? That is the question. Guerra is pushing it, and she now sees the banner. It's still some way to go. What has Catherine Fua got? But this is Gabby Guerra at the moment. She's in the polka dot skin suit. She's the strongest climber of the day. The mouth is open. You can see driving forward to the finish line by Gabby Guerra. She's 4 seconds clear of Catherine Fua. Guerra goes underneath the banner for second place today. Fabulous riding by Guerra. Catherine Fua comes under the line for third. It's McCarthy, Guerra, Fua. Kulczynski's battling with Holdcroft, but Kristen Kulczynski is going to come underneath the banner for fourth place today. Maria Holdcroft, the rider from the UK, is going to hold in 5th. Then Francesca Tomasi looks like she's going to come through, and there's a big push behind because Bridget Kittle is coming against Mel Bruni. Mel Bruni's going to come through ahead of Kittle, but that's going to put Kittle in her best finish position ever. Bridget Kittle, she's come up from category 2, and you know what? She is going to take 8th place today in the category 1 race. Fabulous, fabulous racing.
Some amazing racing. You can see on your screen the overall standings at the moment, with Kittle coming through in 8th place, taking away 8th from Bruni in 7th, Tomasi in 6th, Holcroft in 5th, Kolczynski in 4th, Fua in 3rd, Guerra in 2nd, and McCarthy in 1st. Now, we're going to very briefly move away from Category 1 to Category 2, because Category 2 team competition was taken by United Cadence from the Velocity Vikings, then Core, What Was, and the Antipodean Racing Squad. The United Cadence taking the win. In the team competition in Category 1, Ablock International taking the win with McCarthy, Kolczynski, and Holcroft coming across the line in 1st, 4th, and 5th. The Sweat Sensations, well, Emma's predictions were correct. They are the second team. Guerra in 2nd, Fua in 3rd, Bruni in 7th, and Nicole Mayer's just come across the line, in fact, in 9th position. All of the results on MyWhoosh.com. Go to the results page on there, and you'll catch up with all of the major events. Don't forget to go to MyWhooshinfo.com for lots of details as well. Give MyWhoosh a follow. It's at MyWhoosh on social media. You can follow me at Matt Fixerpain and Emma at Biking_Emma. And that has been the last race in June for our women's competition, which means we have one race left, and that is going to be our men's final. That will be coming up very, very shortly indeed. Emma, brilliant racing today on the women's competition.
Just phenomenal. Really, really great racing across all 6 categories.
And we're going to be moving across to that men's race, but we're going nowhere fast because, of course, it is Australia. It is Wollongong. We're in the same place. Just make sure you've got yourself refueled, rehydrated. We are going to do exactly the same. We're back in a few minutes' time. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So hello and welcome, or hopefully welcome back to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, to our monthly race finals for June. We just had an absolutely barnstorming, I'm not going to use that after June, barnstorming women's race. We're going to have a different word for just how exciting the racing was. My name's Matt Payne. I'm here in the studio with Emma Martin, and we are getting ourselves prepped and ready. We haven't done our final checks. In fact, Emma's busy with the sellotape now, making sure that she has all of those copious notes all in one place already. We are going to Australia. We're going to Wollongong. We're in the same place, same venue, essentially the same lap that we used for the women's race. But Emma, this is a course with 3 climbs rather than 2 for the men.
It is 45 kilometres for the men, 704 metres of climbing, 3 times up the Wollongong climb, 1.9 kilometres in length with an average gradient of 5.1%. But well, there's no average about the Wollongong climb. That first climb goes to 10%. The second climb goes to 17%. 3 climbs, 3 times they go up that Wollongong climb. But the parkour in between the climb is just as much climbing as the 3 climbs themselves. I can tell you that. 306 metres across those 3 climbs. There's 704 metres in total. So it is more lumpy on the rest of the course than it is on the Wollongong climb. We have been here 9 times before. This is the 10th time the men have raced at the Wollongong course. But if anybody has joined the race field in 2025, they will never have raced in Wollongong before. This is the first time in 2025 the men have raced this route.
And it was a really big, heavy hit route when it first came out. We were on it a lot.
In 2023.
Yeah, we were on it a lot, but it seems to have just eased back a little bit as we've got more and more routes, more and more worlds on MyWhoosh that you can explore if you download the app on Android, on iOS, or of course on Windows. You can mirror it up onto your big TV screen, onto your cinema screen if you live in an old cinema. I wonder if anybody does. Do get in touch if you do. That'd be very incredible. But however you want to ride, whether you want to run on your phone, your iPad, then make sure you check out those minimum specs, get on board, make sure it's updated, and get riding, because you can ride on these worlds, on these routes as well, whether you're on the Sunday Race Club or not. But of course, we would love to have you on the Sunday Race Club here on MyWhoosh. Whether you're in categories 6 to 1, there's a space for you. Category 6 are our first set of riders away, as always, with our teams here. We have BMC represented by 3 teams, the BMC High 6, the BMC 6, and the BMC 6ers. Cycling District, it is the Cycling District 6 team, joined with Level Carbon and the Spinergy squad here today. We've got Wheelies Racing, another of our teams with 5 riders, the ZTBR with 2 teams, the Yanomami and the Charuas team. So lots of shuffling in those men's teams after the riders applied, just to make sure that they got themselves the best chance of taking away the team prizes. And a quick reminder that there are 7 team prizes per race category. 7 prizes in category 6, category 5, etc., all the way to category 1. It's time to get our first race field away. Category 6 is going to hit the roads of Wollongong in Australia. It's June final, our final race of the month, and we're up and racing in with Sean Driscoll as we move off and away from race start. And we're going to take our turn and go right and very, very quickly going to go through the sprint. So we are going to see this kick off. It looks like it's Salomon, Yuri Salomon, who's leading this group out. And already a stretch coming on here. We're seeing riders having to respond to this, because that was a quick kick.
It was indeed a quick kick off the start line, and Sebs absolutely dialing it on the front. Wolf, Vaz, Truba, Dotto, all in the mix. The stretch is on at the moment, and now we all know the start in Wollongong is quite challenging. And I say that because, well, it is, but they come out of the start pen, it's a flat start. It's quite innocuous, but actually take a look on that top right-hand graphic. The kick is coming. So they come out of the start pen, and around 1.2 kilometres, they hit the first climb of the day. And the riders, as we can see, pushing on at the moment, and the pack riding really strong. Now, last month, in the final. The team competition in Category 6, they were on the Dragon's Nest, by the way. And, well, BMC Startup took it from Spinergy by 4.4 seconds. That's how quick and close it was.
Really, really tight, and we'll have a little look at some of those individual runners and riders. Now, just as our team set off, quick reminder for our riders, if you are watching live, please remember we need you to follow the guidelines if you're joining our Zoom room, which I'm sure you all know that you're supposed to. So please, guys, make sure you follow those guidelines. So make sure you put in your name as is written on the side of the screen. So if you are Ahmad Al-Mansouri, make sure you do that. Al-Mansouri doing exactly what we asked, which is make sure it's in the landscape mode. So if you're using your phone, put it on auto rotate so that when you turn your phone sideways, you're not pointing sideways when we put you up on the screen or when we view it on the monitors as well. All part of just making sure we know who our riders are.
Nice DT Swiss wheels.
Yes, and very nice. They're fast wheels.
They're nice wheels. They're not going anywhere though because they're on the turbo.
I know that, but they are still very, very quick. And interestingly, a number of the wheel companies going back to V-shaped wheels rather than a U-shaped rim for aerodynamics at the moment. Makes absolutely diddly squid difference though when you're on the turbo.
Oh, it makes you feel good though because you're on a bike that you love.
And that is always very, very important.
It is indeed. And Milano on the front here. The pack is rolling really strongly. We've got one rider off the back of the pack here in Category 6, just distanced at the moment. The riders are up and over that first push of the day, that little kicker that comes early on this course. They're running through now on towards the descent into town. There's a stretch on the group. The pace at the front, well, Osmar Vass, currently zone 3, zone 4. You can see that the rider that is highlighted in blue on the rider list, it's their stats you're seeing in the white bar on top of the screen, and also their zone that is highlighted on the top right hand corner. There we are, Osmar Vass on our screen, the ZTBR bright yellow jersey. Always love that. But he's on the screen, he's in the group, he's highlighted on the name bar, and it's his stats we can see. So 165 his heart rate at the moment, 227 watts in green because he's in the draft. Absolutely key to stay in the draft as much as possible.
And I was loving the colour coordination because, of course, we are into July, the start of the men's Tour de France.
We're not quite
coming up. It's not far away, and it's going to be next weekend. And of course, that tends to mean that July is generally regarded as a yellow month, whether that's for the yellow sunflowers or whether that is because you are colour coordinating your kit. Now, we're going to move on to Category 5, up from the riders in purple to the riders in light blue. BMC are represented once again by 3 different teams: Get Racing, High 5, and Rule 5, all racing for the BMC squad. The Cycling District 5, I'm loving the very easy numbering system here. Even I could cope with that when I was racing, and I couldn't see much for trying too hard. Don't forget, we've got the light hitters squad as well, and of course the Level Avengers, Level Up, and the upcycled squad as well.
Well, what I'm loving now is that we've got teams operating across multiple categories,
Yes.
and that's where the numbers are coming from, which is absolutely fabulous. Ola Warren down in the mix in that pack of light blue riders, waiting that start and the final countdown.
So they are not in Europe, they are in Australia. They're going to take that turn on to our start straight here today. It's going to be a left-hand turn, I think, if I read my maps correctly, if my cartographic skills are up to par. Indeed, it is a left-hand turn, heading off towards the climb up. Now, if you're watching the women's race, the sprint position is different in the men's race to the women's race. It's not in those first few K. It comes a little bit later on in the race. Do remember, they're not going to be sprinting immediately the moment they come out from the start. It does change the dynamic of this start, but it does mean a little bit longer to get up to speed for those riders. At the moment, though, still a pretty long line here, just in with Mads Vither at the moment. Martin Vang with him as well, his Danish countryman. Rudolf Bertrand not far away. John Wakefield in the mix here, Ola Warren. Mohamed Mokhtari nicely tucked in here as well. Lots of very familiar names, Emma, from our Category 5 race field.
Well, there are 50 riders on the start sheets, 8 teams, Category 5. Now, let me tell you, Category 5 has been a really interesting category this month in the men's race. 4 different winners across the 4 qualification races. 17 riders finishing in the top 5. That's 17 different riders. The maximum numbers of riders that could have been was 20. So when you think about that, that's a huge spread. Mads Winter on our screen at the moment. You can see making sure he's paying close attention. He's right towards the front of that pack. The category 5, not quite the most competitive category, but nearly. The only other category who's had more riders in the top 5 this month is category 2 in the men's race. Absolutely tight packed riding this month. Now, last month in the June final, it was Level Avengers who took the win from Level Up. 28 seconds separated those two teams. Again, just highlighting how close the racing is. Now, I could say Category 5 and Category 6 are out of the start pen. The last time we were on the Wollongong course map, we didn't have Category 5 and Category 6. There were only 4 categories on the Sunday Race Club. So 6 categories now on the Sunday Race Club and 6 categories racing in Australia on the Wollongong course. Mohammed Mukhtari, we see him in Category 5. He's regularly on our screen and he's a really strong rider. And as we know, he goes really well on the climbing. This could be a good course for him today. This men's course finishes on the 3rd ascent of the Wollongong climb. Mukhtari could be one to watch out for.
I think he's definitely a rider that we're going to be watching out for. We'll see if Mohammed is going to be at the top as he comes in and through the finish. Just a quick reminder once again to our riders, please do join the live stream on and come and be featured. We'd love to see our riders.
Yes.
Make sure go to the Zoom room. It's really simple. Follow the instructions on your screen, which is basically keep your name the same to avoid confusion. Everybody who watches the stream will know I am easily confused. Also, please do remember to make sure it's in landscape, not in portrait. Make sure the rotation is on auto rotate if you're using an iPhone, for example. Other devices are available, of course, but please do make sure you join. We'd love to see what you're up to, whether you're riding in Australia like Luke Kendall, John Wakefield in the United Kingdom, whether you're across in somewhere like we had riders on the XC from Ukraine, a record win there for the Ukrainian riders in the XC finals that Emma was commentated on last week, or whether you are from, I want to pick a different nation. Sweden. There we go. Yes, fantastic racing. And of course, we're not going to forget, of course, that win by Anna Farstrom. She's going to get lots of name checks because of that, because she's taken the national title. Number of riders not racing.
Mika Soderstrom.
Mika Soderstrom, sorry.
Yes, get your names
Indeed.
correct.
Anyone would think I've just been talking about them. There are lots of riders out and racing on the national championships, but we've got even more riders here today, I'm sure, than most average national championships around the globe. And the BMC Racing make up a lot of those because they've got 2 teams in Category 4. We've got BMC Racing and the BMC 4. We've got the Cycling District 4 team joining them, Dirt First and Level Racing as well in the Category 4 competition. In a fight are here as well as on the Rivet Racing and the Anzacs as well. Very, very strong team competition. See who's going to be taking this out. The riders ready to go. Category 4 in the red jerseys. They mark the halfway point. Once they're up and away, we'll have our first 3 categories clear of the start pens as Category 4 in those red jerseys hit the start. Tight right-hand turn onto the course proper. They're going to be heading along this flat section up onto our first little climb up into the city. And then they're going to be heading out through the sprint and up to the Wollongong climb for the first of 3 ascents here on this 45-kilometre course.
Well, I'll tell you something, there's a big stretch on this Category 4 pack coming out of the start pen today. And it is indeed Evan Svart that's on the front there. Robin Clendenin is in the mix as well. Vargas is there. Pino is there. Matteo Pino's had a great month. Peter Connell is there as well. Yu Lin is there. Brian White is there. Ryan Giuliano is there. Nicholas Hagland. Trent Stevenson. Barchansky is here. Ricky Kiddle is in the mix. The pack now just closing in on the back of the group. So concertinaing back together. Identical to Cat 5 in some ways, Cat 4. 50 riders on the start sheets, 8 teams. Twins. They're twinning.
Not like the Arnie Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito twins.
No. Category 4, 50 riders, 8 teams. Category 5, 50 riders, 8 teams. Category 3 nearly went there, 50 riders, 10 teams. That would have been triplets.
There's not been a film called Triplets I know of, but there probably is somewhere. I don't want to know. Don't send it on at Matt Fix a Pain or at Biking_Emma to us. Now, what we do love to see is our riders on the move and aggressive. Brent Sensing from the United States of America on the move in Category 6. Pedro Truba responding with Khalifa Ibrahim, David Winfield not far off, Daniel Dotto, Fossey, Ed Rooney, all responding. That big packer on their heels. Sensing looking to try and move it up. Are we going to see a breakaway in Category 6 before we get to the main climb? I can't imagine that we would, but you never ever know with Category 6. It's almost in some ways the most random of our races because they throw so much at it. That you get more variation in what works.
Potentially.
You can tell I've been watching back a lot of racing because I wasn't here for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, potentially. It is interesting. Brent Sensing doing a great job, and he really is going off down the road at the moment. Now, Sensing, Matt, what squad is Sensing on?
He is. I knew you were going to ask me that whilst I was just looking at the
something else.
I was on screen 4 at that moment in time. Why did you ask?
BMC?
No, well, there's good odds. He is on BMC 6.
Yeah.
Along with Milano, Atruba, Toro.
Yeah.
Are on BMC.
And can
BMC
I tell
6.
you, it was BMC Startup who took the win, last month from Spinergy. So the BMC squad, 3 squads they have in that Category 6 race. And really the strength and depth in that BMC team, enabling them to really mix up the racing. Well, Kevin Horsley is off the front of the pack in the Category 4 race at the moment. And Category 4 last month, let's remember they were on the Dragon's Nest in Japan for the May final. It was peak power racing from BMC Racing. 8.8 seconds separated the 2 teams in the Category 4 race. It was close racing in Japan last month. Is it going to be the same again in Australia today? Well, Horsley, Pino, Ungurga, Moretti, Yannicki, all in the mix here. Clendenin is here, Jones is here, Flores is here as well. Edwards is in the mix, but it's Francis Pino, the rider, who is on the front of this pack and pulling strongly.
When we look at Category 4, is there a particular rider you would say this suits if you had to pick one out of those 50?
Oh, that is a really interesting.
Interesting, read tough.
It is.
Tell you what, you think about that whilst I'm going to just quickly run through our Category 3 teams. Kicking off with the Cycling District 3 squad, along with our Anzacs, the Gold Grabbers, Level Golden, Los Rodillones, Sandstorm, and the Smooth Operators. We have our inevitable boy bands, Take That and Take This, along with the What's Up squad. And whilst that does sound like some 90s boy bands groups, they are 3 of our fantastic squads here today. Some strong riders not in squads as well. I make it that we actually have 8 riders not racing for teams as well. Remember, this month that we're on with the new rules, which means that you don't need to qualify for the final with 2 rides, but you do need 2 qualifying rides in to join a team.
Well, as Category 3 go out of the start pen, 1 man in that Category 3 pack holds the course record for Category 3 on this course. Could you possibly take a guess, Matt, or is that beyond the call of duty?
Holds the record on here in Category 3.
Yes. Set in December 2024, the course record in Category 3. Bearing in mind it was the old Category 3, not the new Category 3. Category 3 when there were 4 categories, not Category 3 when there were 6 categories. But the rider is still in Category 3.
He's still in Category 3. Why do I want to say... I want to say Angarita, but that's not going to be right.
It's Walter Clays.
It's Walter Clays.
It's Wild Clays. He holds
Do you
the
know
course
that,
record
yeah, that
here.
doesn't surprise me.
69 minutes,
I
59
didn't
seconds.
get down to the W's.
Did you not?
No, I hadn't made it that far scanning through.
69 minutes, 59 seconds, the current Category 3 course record. Could it go today? Actually, the 1st of December 2024 was the last time the men raced in Wollongong. The course has been used since then for the Australian National Cycling Esports Championships, but not this exact course. Not
Okay.
three laps,
No.
just one lap that day, I think. I can't quite remember, but I think it was just the one.
Don't forget, you can always watch back lots of the race action on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel.
You can.
Do please give it a subscribe. Tell your friends about it if you want to catch up with the action each and every week. This isn't some come and go series that appears and disappears. We are here each and every week, each and every Sunday, bringing you the best racing, offering the racers, the riders, the opportunity to ride and race at the highest level with all of our riders verified across all of the race categories here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Lots of other opportunities to race and ride through the week, but the flagship weekly event of the Sunday Race Club brought you here. And do please subscribe. It really does help us. It helps MyWhoosh, and it helps us bring you all of that racing and the team behind the scenes as well. And thank you very much, everybody who has subscribed so far.
Well, can I just say the team competition, I think, is so open here in Category 3.
Yes.
Last month, it was so close. The gold grabbers took it from what's up. 3.2 seconds the gap. 15 seconds then back to the third team. Take that. So it is close. I think today is going to be the gold grabbers, Sandstorm, smooth operators. Take that, take this, and what? And yes, I have just put 5 teams in the mix.
So basically, you could potentially just listed the
half
top 5.
Half of the race field.
Half the race field has the potential to be in that top team. Now, you can see on our split screens here, the riders furthest up the road are the Category 6 riders. Sebastian Wolf at the moment, following that white line down the centre, but on the left-hand side, hugging the gutter goes Daniel Dotto, and currently just moving his way past Wolf at the moment, moves across, looking to try and get into that slipstream. Winfield, Milano, Warren, Abbott, Fossier. These riders at the moment on the first ascent of Wollongong, but they're on part 2 of this climb. If you cast your minds back to that course profile earlier on, it is a 2-stage climb. Part 1 of the climb has a 10% kicker in it. Part 2, the steepest section, is 17%, and that comes in very quickly indeed. But do remember, there is a nasty little sting to the tail, and then when we go over the summit, we have that little lip on the way down, just to catch out any riders who don't keep the push on.
Well, these are the ZTBR squads right on the front here. Benjamin Hoy's had 2 first places this month, so he's got to be looking and eyeing up this course, and his teammates have got to be looking up and eyeing up, helping him. Fabra's had 2 thirds. Vaz has had a second. Daniel Dotto is part and parcel of that team. Corbani is in there as well as Silva too. So those squads, you know, right on the front of that Category 6 race, setting up their riders.
And they're setting them up, first of all, to take away the segment prize here. The segment banner, that's the polka dot banner, at a different position from the women's race to the men's race. You'll notice if you were watching earlier on. The men's race, it comes before the top of the climb. So do remember, it comes about 200 metres before the top of the climb. Going through is Sebastian Wolf. He's currently wearing that polka dot skin suit. I think he's going to hold on to that. The Wheelies Racing rider taking top spot from ZTBR's Giroua's Daniel Dotto. Level Carbon taking the 3rd place in that climb with Joel Warren. Spinergy with the 4th place in the shape of David Winfield. And the ZTBR Giroua's putting a 2nd rider into the top 5 riders scoring points, and that is Benjamin Hoy. So at the moment, they are the point scorers on the first ascent. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 points for each and every ascent on the way up the climb. Prizes for the firstest in your category each segment, and prizes for the winners of the overall in the climbs competition as well.
Did you just say the fastest or the firstest?
The fastest, I think.
Okay.
I could have said the firstest. It could have been the first, which I very quickly changed to the fastest. Maybe the firstest should be the thing.
firstest in the category 5
No,
race
don't
at
use
the
it.
moment
That's
is
that.
Bertrand.
Let's not use that. Let's not use firsties. Let's try and put some
I'm
correct
going to
English in
sneak
here.
it in there every now and again now.
Don't you worry, we'll get to category 2 and Oliver Bigley Simmons soon.
Bigging it up in the sprints.
Anyway, shall we get back to the racing and into category 3?
Yeah, we can do indeed. And at the moment, the push is on here. They're coming up on the climbs in the city. We've got one rider off the back of the group. The rest of the pack is pushing. It's Cahill on the front at the moment. So Jamie Cahill at the moment on the front. Now Beatty in 2. Karlstrom is there, Tidholm is there, Van Velegum is there, Kennett is there, Fell is there, El Alami is in the mix as well. So is Karlstrom and Cadiz. They are all, well, I'll tell you something, they're about 5 wide across the road in the middle of that pack at the moment. The pace is rolling nicely in this group, and 1 2 riders just having to push on to get back into the mix. And these are those rollers in the city that we were talking about, Matt. The short, sharp climbs, the little descents.
Yeah, and I was just watching Jamie Cahill over the top there, just pushing his way over, just gets a bit more of a rest on the way down. It's a good if you've got the strength to just roll your way over, push over the top, and then rest on the downhill, you get more rest. You know, you can allow yourself that if you are good enough to leave the rest of the group behind as you go. You can just see that big bunch coming through, Cahill reacting and jumping back in. Almost all of this group together, I think 2 riders have lost contact so far in this race in that category 3 competition. So at the moment, this group is staying together. Now, it's not going to stay together onto the first climb, but there is the opportunity to regroup on that descent if you have some numbers with you. That's going to be really, really important. Now, in with Jamie, the rider there, you can see wearing the level racing top, and really interesting to see that as he pushes his way over the top, but looking very, very strongly there from the United Kingdom, and probably pretty warm there because I think it's.
You can see
it's
the
been
fan rolling.
Yeah, it's been a warm week in the UK. Speaking to people who've been in the United Kingdom, saying it's been super hot all week long, and hopefully it's going to continue next week because during the week I'm actually going to the UK on Monday.
Are you?
I am indeed. I'm going to be on the mic. So
it says here it's going to be very hot in the UK on Monday.
Brilliant.
29 degrees. For anybody not from the UK, they may not understand the cultural significance of that weather.
Indeed, that is a heat wave in the UK. If you are in the UK next week and you are in Otley on Wednesday, go to get yourselves down to the Otley Grand Prix, a legendary race. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at Rampage Car Park hill climb race with the Red Bull, McLaren, and everybody. That's on the Thursday. And on Friday, I'm going to be at the Ilkley Grand Prix, and then I'm jumping on an aeroplane to get back into the studio in time for the Sunday Race Club.
Wow.
Lots of crit racing next week.
That's a week.
It is going to be a week on the mic with lots of great racing, and I'm going to be saying the words MyWhoosh quite a lot, funnily enough. Hope if you are a rider on any of our teams, including our Category 2 teams, and you're there, come and say hi. It's always good to see our riders. We usually try and bump into at least 1 or 2 whilst we're out and around the UK. Now, the Category 2 teams, let's run you through them very quickly. The Abu Dhabi team are up against ABUS Esports Cycling District 2 Fast Guys. Gloria Victis goats in there as well. Polish horses, Smarties in there. The Hitmen as well, UAE Falcons, the What Warriors, and of course the UAE Clan team up and racing. And this is a race for me in category 2 where it's going to be brutal. There is nowhere to hide in this race, particularly when we come to Wollongong in category 2, because there's somebody in this race field who's going to attack at any point in time on this course. There's nowhere to hide. It's time to go see who's got the race legs on, who is going to be super aggressive today on the route. The riders come in, they take that turn, they're out onto the race course proper. Category 2 up and away.
Well, they are indeed up and away. And Category 2, I have to agree with you, Matt. 54 riders, 13 teams. It is the biggest race field today, Category 2. It's often one of our closest race fields. Last month, it was the Goats from ABUS Esports by 1.5 seconds. In third place, the team was the Hitmen. They were 2.2 seconds back from the Goats. So the first 3 teams finished within 2.2 seconds of each other last month in the May final. This group is so strong. More stats to prove this group is so strong. 4 different race winners this month. 14 different riders took top 5 positions. The strength and depth in the Category 2 race field is absolutely there. It really, really is. I think we're going to see a really strong team competition. We're going to see a really strong race today, and we're going to see a lot of tactics here, trying to, should we say, get a little bit more of a time gap than 2.2 seconds separating the top 3 teams this month.
And in amongst those team tactics, we've got some really strong riders, I think, particularly in Category 2, who are not part of teams. So, Damien Kiesnowski.
Yep. Joshua Haggerty, who's come up from Category 3.
Maz Buster, Mark Gates.
Yep.
Thiago Clamott and others. And I think when you start putting those riders in the mix, you put in riders whose teams who maybe have got some really strong riders and some riders who maybe not as strong. Then you've got some teams where they're all very consistently right up there. That for me is going to really mix things up, and I think that really is going to shake it up, because we've got there are lots of differences, and yet all these riders are they're so close in ability, and that then translates to those super short time gaps.
Yeah, they really, really do. And there's been a real mix this month. So we've got different riders in here. Now, we have seen a lot of progression. That's the other thing we have seen from Category 2. And I think this is going to be really interesting in terms of how this plays out in this monthly final. Because Josel Betty, Paul Skierski, Trzynski's gone up, but Kane's gone up, Miller's gone up as well. So what's that, 6 riders who have progressed to Category 1 this month from the top of Category 2. You'd think that would open it up a bit, but I think because we've got such strength and depth and such a well-matched race category, we still see, it's like a washing machine. It's just continually churning.
It is, and I think your point of there's still lots of people left. It doesn't really make it super open, even though it might open it up by 5 or 6 riders, because there are so many riders so close together. Because you do see that. You see the top category in any sort of the elite category, any cycling discipline, is super, super high. And then you get a block of riders, competitors behind, who are very, very close together. And then you start to see bigger gaps as you move through from somebody maybe starting out, somebody returning to the racing. You get those big gaps, you get that big progression. It's a bit like when you come back to racing or to training after a period off. You make those big gains early when you're moving through. And if you're moving through the categories, you make the big gains early, and then you see diminishing returns as you go up. And it's harder and harder to get that extra few percent.
It is, but it's great fun trying.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Actually, it's hard work trying, I tell you.
Well, if you do make it to the top, these are the teams you're going to be in with. Abo Synergy have 4 riders here: Paradinas, Power, Van Elst, and Wu. The Alpha Jaw squad, represented by Churek of Justin Kaminsky and Jones. Boss Moves Only, they've got 4 riders as well, and that is Osborne, Knudsen, Vink, and Safra Sadie. Cycling District 1, now you have to forgive me because this might be a bit jumpy. Betty Trzynski, Ken, and Fleber. Cycling District 1.1, that is going to be Alvarado, Ken, along with Malur and Hayden. We've then got the Farm Watt squad, which is Andreas and Pucker, Harris and Plantero. Then the Union of Speed squad, that is a Bird, along with Lewis, Kroll, and Miller. And then the Wenger boys, Milostic, Pedersen, Panitza, and Mayer, Mohamed Mod, Rakat El Thiem, Yusuf Al Ahmadi, all individual riders. It's time to go racing. The last race start of June is underway. All our race fields are out. It's going to be time to see who's going to take away top spot. You can see the World Champions jersey in there. We're not going to give you any spoilers, though, for our preceding women's race, but interested to see the tactics employed by our world champion in the women's race. I'm going to be very interested to see what tactics are employed by the men's world champion.
Well, 36 riders on the start sheets, 8 teams in the Category 1 race. 10 of those 36 riders have had a top 5 position this month in June. Mikhail Kaminsky is in the mix. He's one of the riders who hasn't had a top 5 this month.
What?
Could he have a top 5 today? Loving the Alpha jersey. I do like it when we see that. Linda Milostic is there. Kaminsky, Vujasin, Plantero all in the mix. In fact, it's Milostic who's dialing it on the front here and really just picking up the pace out of the pen. Now, Boss Moves only took the win last month from Alphajaw. Will they do the same again today? Aber Synergy have had some really great race results this year. This month. So that could be an interesting one. As I mentioned earlier, we've got 6 Category 2 riders coming up into the mix. And it really does make things a bit different. But let's just take a little look, shall we? Before we talk about the riders who have won so far in Category 1 this month. Boss Moves only from Alphajaw. Do you know it was the biggest race gap out of all 6 categories last month? 1 minute, 11 seconds.
Well, for me, in this race, I would not be thinking about the top spot unless I was Boss Moves. I would focus on being the second team.
Oh, no.
Yeah, seriously, I would be. Jason Osborne, world champion. Michael Knudsen, Michael Vink, Saeed Safrazodi. You've got such good quality riders in there. And the problem is that if you have Osborne and Vink on form, they open up such a gap that they can really make it almost unattainable for anybody else because it's 3 riders to count. If it was 4 or 5 riders to count, that might change. But at the moment with 3 riders, that is very, very difficult. And because of that, I would be doing, and I'll be looking at exactly what's going on here. You've got Plantero going for Farm Watt squad. You've got Milostic going for it at the moment. Linda Milostic
and Joel Lewis.
The Venga Boys going for this. You've got all these things. Joel Lewis of Union of Speed. You race it against the second best team. You don't waste energy trying to counter any of the moves by any of the Boss Moves only squad, because you lose so much energy doing that. You work, it's a futile exercise pretty much, unless there's something miraculous happens. Focus on racing teams 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get the best result you can on the day, because some days, unless you are the world champion, there are other riders who are better than you on the planet, and they're going to come up against you.
Sometimes race tactics work. Sometimes you can sneakily go away. Sometimes a brave move wins.
It does, but what you want to do is do that against the people that you're going to be in, particularly in a final when the team competition is in play. Because I think that for me, there's so much at stake. You look at the Category 4 on our screens at the moment, and Johan Moreno is a classic from his Italian Espresso days years and years ago.
Johan Moreno could ride really well today.
Yeah. Now, you play it as your team for the best team result you can get.
I'm going back to Cat 1 because this debate has not finished yet. Jason Osborne has had 2 first places this month. Michael Vink has had 2 first places this month. Michael Vink also holds the course record on this course in Wollongong at 63 minutes, 50 seconds. But sometimes I just think you have to put all that to one side and just have belief that you are going to race your best race, and whatever happens. And you don't know what's going to happen. Michael Vink could drop a water bottle at an opportune moment and never pen down to pick it up, and he could dehydrate slowly during the race, and that could affect his performance. You don't know what's going on in other people's worlds. You only know what's going on in yours, and you can only do what is in your sphere of control. And sometimes you can be a very brave rider and you can attack and do the things you are in control of and just have a phenomenal day and even surprise yourself with the result.
I agree with that 100% on any race other than the team race competition at the end of the day. When it's the finals, as a team, race the other teams that you are in competition with. And most people... Michael Vink has a good day at the office. He's going to put 2 minutes into most of the rest of this Category 1 race field, with the exception maybe of Jason Osborne, who's his teammate.
Well, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit here and watch what happens.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are days when the world champions and the professional riders and the top of the sport have been doing a hard training block, and we do see that. And I am going to cover this a little bit. When we go into towards the World Championships, we see Category 1 particularly focusing on training specifically for those World Championships with maybe different tactics, different
because their
aims
goals
and
are not
targets, and
there.
the goals are different. Now, because they are the best in the world, they can usually combine that with racing on the Sunday Race Club and put it all together, but not always. So I do think there is a little bit of a chance there. But on a final, if you're in this finals, but what for me that then should result in, and kind of this is almost the point, is that you see aggressive racing because you don't worry about the fact that you can't stay. You can put your energy down now and not worry about the fact you won't stay with Osborne and Vink, because nobody's going to stay with Osborne and Vink. Go race against everybody else who's in your race field, because you know that that's what you're battling, and that produces a better race because you've got competition. This being scared, stifled to go because you're not going to stay with the world's best, don't worry about it, because you're not going to stay with them anyway. You might as well just go race against everybody else and battle them. And you want to attack on this climb coming up because you're going to put the other teams under pressure, except for Boss Moves. Go for it, knock yourself
Can
out.
I just say, Josh Harris took the Australian title on this climb.
Did he?
Yeah.
That has relevance because
he can climb very well on this climb.
He can indeed. Will it be enough? We're going to find out.
Well,
on the front.
Michael Vink pushes on at the front of the race. Jason Osborne, his teammate on the Boss Moves only. I find that name so ironic because who is the boss out of those four? I don't know. But Michael Vink, Jason Osborne pushing on. Lucas Halen coming into the mix and Lionel Vuyasin right on the wheel, closing it down here. The pack rolling and rolling strongly. Van Elst, Lewis, Wu, Halen, Vink, Harris, Osborne, all in the mix. Kroll is there as well. That is going to be one great race. Well, we've already got a number of great races further down the road because Category 2 are at the 8.6 kilometre marker. The pack is rolling strong. Category 3 at the 15 kilometre marker. They're up and over the climb. And Cahill from Kalman from Broon took that up climb. Christopher Morgan is pushing on in that Category 3 race. In Category 4, Nick Spratt and Rick Van Erck are 3 seconds clear of Pedoncini, who is clear of Moretti. That is one big stretch on the Category 4 pack at the moment, at 18.7 kilometres into the race. Now, what I find is really interesting is when they get to the top of the Wollongong climb for the first time, it's 14.7 kilometres to the top of the climb again.
Yep, so that is the one lap distance wherever you start and finish that lap on. Let's just give you the quick results. We saw the Category 6 going up over the top of the Wollongong climb for the first time with Wolf from Dotto, Warren Winfield and co. In Category 5 in the Wollongong climb, it was Ola Warren taking maximum points from Cirillo, Karawanas, Bertrand and Mukhtari. In Category 4, we saw those riders going through. It was Yulin, Giuliano, Rocco, Ungar, and Pedon. Pardon me for not knowing your name off by heart, but it's not one of the easiest ones to remember in Category 4. That's partly because I'm having a bad day. Pedoncini. So Massion Pedoncini going through to the Cycling District 4, taking the points in Category 4 at the top of the Wollongong climb. In Category 3 at the top of the Wollongong climb, it was Cahill from Kalman, from Broon, from Becker, and then they took the top 4 spots, and they were followed over the line. I think that was going to be Guarin who came in through. It is indeed in 5th place. They are the categories that have gone over the top of the Wollongong climb so far. Categories 2 and 1 still to reach there.
Wow. Nice roundup.
Well,
rounding it up at the moment.
There's lots going on simultaneously as always.
There is indeed. Michael Vink is on the front of the Category 1 race at the moment. Big push at the moment going on here. Vuyasin is the rider crossing over and closing the gap down. Michael Knudsen, Vink's teammate, jumps onto Vuyasin's wheel and sits there. And Van Elst is at the front of the pack behind. So Vink pushing on, the first rider from the Boss Moves only scored at the 7 kilometre marker to stretch legs going down the road. A 2-second gap. Vuyasin from Alpha Jaw crossing over and trying to get onto the wheel. Knudsen jumping onto Vuyasin's wheel. It's looking like Vuyasin and Knudsen going to go back into the pack because Mayer and Panizza, Van Elst and Kroll are bringing the pack back to them. But Vink still moving strongly and moving away. Vuyasin sat up because Knudsen jumped onto the wheel, but it's not stopped Vink.
Nothing stops the Vinkinator on a good day.
Well, the question is for me: is his course record going to go today?
Interestingly, there has been changes in the dynamics. There's been a lot of major updates
since
December, and for me, it almost nullifies the prior course records, because it's a bit like saying who's the best cyclist ever, and that is impossible to say, because all the cyclists, whether you're talking about Merckx or Pogacar, they were the best at their time.
Marianne Vos, sorry.
Vos, well, okay, yeah, well, I was just talking about the men because we were on the men's race.
Well, you just said best cyclist of all time. You didn't say best male cyclist of all time.
All right, best male cyclist of all. Well,
don't take that tone with me.
Okay. Best road cyclist of all time.
Oh, that's a different category.
It is. So, or best mountain biker of all time. And you've got to, you pick whatever category you want. The different times you get different riders and you get different abilities. It's a bit like saying, you know, I would have gone so much faster on today's equipment when I was racing.
Yeah, but
and I would have done. But that doesn't mean it actually would have worked.
It didn't exist
exactly.
at the time.
But we didn't have the current updates, the current dynamics, the way that it races and it rides.
Well,
and
I can
that
tell
all
you
affects it.
What's going on at the moment, because Jason Osborne put in a big dig to close down the gap to Michael Vink, his teammate. He's taken Ollie Jones with him and he's gone up and over the top of Michael Vink. Michael Vink is back in the pack. Osborne and Jones are now starting to stretch the group. Jones has been riding really strongly this month. Ollie Jones has had 3 third places. Vujasin took the other 3rd place. All the 3rd places sit in the AlphaJaw squad. Osborne, I said, has had 2 firsts and a second. Vink's had 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Nudson's had a second and a 4th. AlphaJaw and Boss Moves only already this month. We're in with category 2, however, and it's Olivier Simmons. There he is on our screens at the moment. We know him as a sprinter, but he's also been putting in some great performances on the climbing this month, and he's doing it as well here with SS. They're 2 seconds clear of Ramirez. Which one of these 2 riders is going to take the polka dot skin suit? Oh, Simmons does.
There you go. It is Ollie, as he's known to his friends, Bigley, as he's known to Emma, and Olivier Simmons, as he's known to the rest of us, making his way through good timing, going from the back to the front there, and taking away that. He wasn't worried about SS going through the line in front. Absolutely super
Look at that pack.
And I was just taking a little look. I'm not showing the resolution on our screen there, but I think that's an ice vest.
Yes, I would agree.
And I think that's a really smart move.
It's a warm day in Belgium.
Yes, that's not often said, as it goes in and through.
Belgium, a country that has many words for mud.
And cold and wet.
Well,
maybe I just go in the really cold months and not very much in the warm months.
Jason Osborne at the moment with Ollie Jones. These 2 riders now have 6 seconds on the group behind Vink, Wu, Harris, Vujasin, Van Elster, all in that group behind them. But Osborne and Jones doing a sterling job on the front, continuing to keep the pace high. Now Vink lifts the pace. They're over the first section of the climb, and this is the first ascent of the Wollongong climb today here in Australia for the Category 1 men. Osborne and Jones have gone over the first section of the climb and ascending into the valley before they go up the main section of the climb. Vink, Wu, Vujasin, Safrazadi all coming behind now. I've seen Safrazadi utilise the momentum on here so many times, absolutely to perfection. But he's coming on now and he's pushing in here. And we also see them going, round the corner here. But Osborne and Jones have gone. And I think, there they are, pushing on side by side. It is an 8-second gap at the moment, and they're about to start coming onto the back of the Category 2 race field.
And interestingly, it's Ollie Jones who's leading the attack, the kick up here. 9.3 I saw in terms of watts per kilo coming out there from Ollie Jones. The power to weight ratio that's being put down. Don't want to obsess about the power to weight, the watts per kilo numbers, but that is a big indicator of just how strong these riders are, being able to put that down. That power to weight really, really key. At the moment, Osborne and Jones leading the way right up here. Jones settling into about 7.2 watts per kilo. And that's actually above his FTP.
Yeah, well, what can I say? But Ollie Jones at the moment putting in a phenomenal 5-minute power effort here. Jason Osborne having to pick up the pace to go with him and sit on his wheel because Jones is the rider leading the charge here. There we go. We drop in with Ollie Jones in his garage. Multiple fans in play today. And let's not forget, Jones in the Southern Hemisphere, it is evening time
in
there.
winter.
It is. It is going in. Well, it's June, isn't it? So yeah. And it is indeed. So we talk about it being hot in Europe at the moment. It is indeed in the morning in Europe. It is. I'm just looking at the clock now. In fact, it is 12:15 in France, in Europe at the moment in the studio, and it is very hot outside. Jones riding at the other side of the world. It is evening time there. All of our riders riding at many different time zones around the world. Hayden Pucker just coming onto your screens as well at the moment. He's 11 seconds back in the chase group. Morning time, very early morning time, around 4:20 a.m. Around that time, where Puckett is at the moment.
So as these riders in Category 1 have made their way through the polka dot banner with Osborne, taking the polka dot skin suit, they go over the finishing line for the first time. Remember, they now have 2 full laps to get back here to take away the overall race victory. You can see your winners in each of those individual categories with the time to go up the Wollongong climb as they came in through, and really going to the form book with Wolf, Warren, Yulin, Cahill, Simmons and Osborne. Cahill's time a particularly quick one. He was, I think if you compare him to Category 2, he was right up there.
Yeah, the top end of Category 3 were climbing at the same speed as Category 2, really strong. So let's just mention, back into Category 1, Osborne and Jones continue to move. You can see the chase behind on the top right-hand screen. There's a real stretch on that pack behind, chasing hard. 17 riders went over the top of the climb in contention in Category 1. Osborne, Jones, Vink, Knudsen, Kaminsky, Andreasen, Pucker, Wu, Van Elst, Vuyasin, Safrazadi, Harris, Paradians, Plantro, Panizza, Pedersen, and Lewis. This is the top of the climb for the second time. This is Category 6. So from Category 1 to Category 6, Category 6 came out of the start pen first. They are the leaders on the road at the moment. This is the second time up the Wollongong climb, and Joel Warren, Sebastian Wolf, Benjamin Hoy, David Winfield, all in the mix here.
And interestingly, Wolf, who is wearing the polka dot skin suit, didn't take the fastest time up the climb segment. That was Joel Warren. At the moment, though, it's Simon Llewellyn who's kicking on over the top here. So Llewellyn looking very strong as he goes over the top there, making the most of that little bit of a run. He's going to take that momentum into this downhill. So it was Warren from Wolf, from Dotto and Winfield with Hoy, Abbott, Milano, Fossed, Llewellyn, Milostic, Carabona, Fabric, Toro, and Emmanuel, and the riders going up over the top there. They were the first few riders up over the top of the climb. Very, very interesting indeed to see that it's still a big pack of riders in Category 6 at the top of the climb for the second time. That regroup on the descent and that coming back together definitely taking its effect. They're on the right-hand side of your screen, left-hand side of your screen. These are the Category 5 riders, and at the moment they're in the dip down between the first part of the climb and going into the second part, that section where we were talking about, say, Safrazadi and momentum being key to drive on through with the Category 1 who'd just gone up it for the first time. This is another big group on the road at the moment, Category 5. And to me, they're not making much ground on Category 6 leaders at the moment.
Well, that's it, isn't it? And
6 have gone over the top and they've gone.
But it's also really interesting. But what you've got to remember is these are races within a race, aren't they? You've got 6 different races on this race course at the moment. Category 6 starting before Category 5. We can't assume they all race the same course in the same way.
No.
You know,
Definitely, I agree.
and we see that week in, week out, different categories using different race tactics and racing the course in a different way to another race category. And well, that's the joy of racing, isn't it? No two races are the same. Rune Nielsen at the front of this with Luke Kendall. UC Polaka is in there as well. Nathan Peterson is here. Justin Roy is in the mix. So is Michael Pruitt. Pruitt's had a strong month this month. He took first. He's had a first. He's been on the top spot and he's in the leading group in category 5. I'll tell you something, category 4 leading group are not that far behind, just 800 meters. They're now coming down into the dip. The momentum is going to carry the pack of category 4 riders close. The question will be, I was just thinking, I'm answering my own question in my head before I've even said it. And I was going to say, the question will be will the category 5 riders stay clear of the category 4 leading pack? I think they will this time, but there is a catch coming at some point in this race.
I'm not at all surprised to see a catch coming. And now, just seeing the move here by Lionel Vajastin, looking to break this up again. Interestingly, he's on the front here. So we're just taking a little bit of a look. Osborne and Vinca back in the group together. So let's see what happens. They're coming into the sprint of Vajastin, maybe just going for a sneaky one under the sprint banner here at the moment. But you can just see Lionel Vajastin on your screen. So left-hand side of your screen is Vajastin in person. You can see the avatar on the right-hand side of your screen as they go in through this sprint segment. It comes just before the rider pens, actually, where they came out of. And you can just see big kick coming behind. Kaminsky went hard through there. And I think he's going to take that green jersey. It's also going to bring him onto the wheels of Vajastin. So are we going to see that classic kick over the top? Kaminsky, Knudsen come up to Vajastin. Is anybody going to continue on with this push? I think we are just seeing Kaminsky go through there at pace. He's holding 6.5 watts per kilo.
He's just put a call out for some help with the 3 to try and go clear. But interestingly, and we'll come back to my interesting point in a minute, but Kaminsky setting the fastest time through that category. Elos in category 2, Patterson in category 3, Francis Pino in category 4, Cirillo in category 5, and Sobrino in category 6. Now, what was interesting to me is we saw Vajastin on our screen reach for his phone. I find it amazing. Lots of our teams communicate in different ways, lots of them through voice, normally. The Alpha Jaw squad in category 1, correct me if I'm wrong, but regularly we see them texting. I think they message via text, which to me must be a real challenge because I don't know how on earth. I have fat thumbs when I'm typing and texting anyway, let alone if I was doing it whilst racing.
Yes. The thing is that if you're breathing,
hopefully you're breathing, because if you're not breathing, we've got a problem.
Flat out, and you're in a flat out race effort, or you're trying to get the maximum oxygen. Usually, you notice that Vajastin was lent there with his arms, so he's not using his arms to support his body weight. He's not using his core body strength to support his body weight. He was relaxing and texting there. He was getting the maximum amount of oxygen in. Then I could understand. It also means people can read it when they want. You're not talking at people when they maybe don't want to hear or can't hear.
Well, Francis Pino at the moment probably can't hear or talk to anybody because he's right at the front of this race, pushing on at the top of the climb for the second time, just going underneath the banner, part and parcel of this category 4 pack. He's got Gonzalez and Pulgarin for company, just 2 seconds back. There's a bit of a push needing to come on. They're coming towards the top of the Wollongong climb, and you can see the effort on his face at the moment. And this group starting to spread. The leaders in category 4 already on the other side of the climb.
And that really does split things up, because as soon as you go over the top, it is a very knife-edge summit. You go over the top, it doesn't take very long to pick up speed, to build up that momentum. 65 kilometers an hour on that downhill, coming over the top within seconds. A little bit of a lip here, which if you're carrying the momentum, you can absolutely fly over. So if you sprint over the top of the climb, You drive that momentum in, you then fly over this little lip and down. But this little lip really punishes people who are not motoring instantly.
Well, and interesting, Nicholas Spratt is the rider pushing on the descent. 16 riders up and over that banner at the front of the Category 4 race. Spratt really making the most of this downhill, getting a massive push, getting up to pace. He's 66 kilometres an hour, now taking a little bit of a rest. But the rest of the pack behind him, you can see them motoring strongly. Ungara is there, Van Erck, Quiroz, Giuliano. Rocker is there, Van Erck is there, Hernandez, Stevenson, Kittel, Pino, Matteo Pino, Perdoncini, Moretto, Moreno, and Kirchner. They're all in the mix there in that Category 4 race on the other side of the Wollongong climb for the second time. One more ascent of the Wollongong climb, and the checkered flag is at the top.
So all our riders will be wishing they were at that point, I'm sure, and in first place when they reach there. So Category 6, 5, and 4 going over the Wollongong climb for the second time. So 2 ascents done for them. Categories 3, 2, and 1 still to reach that summit for the second time of asking. And remember, as Emma's just said, the third time is our finale. They will go up through underneath that polka dot banner, which comes 200 metres before our finishing line, our team competition, as well as the individual race competition in play. Now, earlier on, we saw Ollie Jones pushing. He's back pushing once again. We'd seen an attack. We'd seen moves on the front. And at the moment, it looks like Jones just being closed down now by Safrazadi. So the Boss Moves Only squad sending somebody up the road after Jones. Jones riding for Alpha Jaw. He's on the front at the moment. Yunfei Wu, the ABUS Synergy rider, looking very, very attentive today. He's in and around the front of the race all the time. He's not letting particularly any moves go. He's always keeping an eye on what's going on. And at the moment, Vink and Osborne back in the middle of the pack. That group is still together. It is not really fractured. We've still got all the contenders in there, and that's going to make that second ascent really critical for them. Now, at 22.3 kilometres, we're still 4 kilometres off the start of the climb for the second time for Category 2. Big pack of riders in here. Mr. X100 of the UAE clan team in here. This is a course he knows well. I think he's raced this course pretty much every time we've been here. I can't think of a time when he hasn't been here for that. And on the front at the moment, and he's a rider who will want to make this hard for a lot longer. His teammate SS currently sitting in third wheel with the blue wheels, the blue cap behind Mr. X100's yellow cap and yellow wheels, just holding the station there. And for me, this climb is an SS climb. It's undulating, varying gradient, different power, lots of different kicks. Take us to Yebel Hafit, take us to climbs like that, and then that is real Mr. X100 territory. But it means that the team is really balanced, and that's what you need when you're your team.
Yeah, you do. You do need a balanced team, and you do need a team that will work together, and that does indeed happen. We just dropped him aside, Safrazadi, as ever, racing in front of his trophy shelf, which I just think is fabulous. And Safrazadi there, you can see him on the screen. Good cadence at the moment as they're punching through the climbs here. He's alongside Wu. There's a gap now back, 15 seconds, the gap back to Jasper Paradis. Over a minute now to Plantero, Pedersen and Panizza. This really is motoring now, this Category 1 race. Harris, Knudsen, Andreasen, Pucker, Safrazadi, all in the mix here. Van Elst is in this group as well. And they really are paying close attention to each other. Now, the last time we were here in Wollongong, in December 2024, Lionel Yasin took the win from Knudsen, Osborne, Van den Eekhout, Martins, Kaminsky, Noren. Safrazadi was 8th that day. Vink was 9th. As I said, anything can happen.
It can indeed, although there are some familiar faces at the top of Wollongong climb number 2 for Category 3. They've just gone over. We'll just update you very briefly whilst we keep an eye on SS leading out the Category 2 race with Mr. X100 in that little breakaway there. Cahill, Lapera, Stewart, Kalman and Becker, the point scorers at the top of Wollongong climb Category 3, going up there for the second time of asking. I reckon that is something.
22 riders.
Oh, I was going to say 20-ish. So 20. I'll take that as a guess because that's what it was. So Emma, there with 22. Did you say, Emma?
Yeah, I did.
Yep,
but interestingly, Jamie Cahill setting the fastest time again.
Yeah, so he will be in the lead in the points competition on the climb. Now, Mr. X100 just at the moment in front of SS. These two riders need to work together. The two teammates here, if they can work together and go clear, they have got the opportunity to really mix things up here on the Sunday Race Club. They've got Phil Graves in pursuit by the, well, I say in pursuit. Phil Graves is on the front of the group, but he's not really in pursuit because his watts per kilo dropped right off there. He didn't want to be chasing them down. He didn't want to do all of that work. SS at the moment within sight, in the sights of Mundell, Damsgaard, Nair and Wozniak. They're trying to close down on the back wheels of this man SS in the blue bandana. And if there was a prize for having the same identifying kit for the entirety of the shows that I can remember, it would be going to SS because that blue bandana, blue wheels, blue mitts have been the same pretty much all the way through.
I'm going to ask a little question here because Daniel Mundell is in category 2.
Yes.
Jamie Cahill from the UK.
Yep.
Is also a man who rides bikes of a different kind.
Okay.
Ones with motors, like Daniel Mundell does. Is there a little theme here going on in the UK around the motor bike riding community and racing community that all of a sudden a little bit of training on esports?
There is. There's a long history, and in fact, if I remember rightly, I think there is a MotoGP rider just getting a tryout for one of the World Tour Pro teams.
God, there is, isn't there?
There is. There's a lot of crossover skills, and there's a lot of the riders who are motorbike riders who do that. I mean, and it doesn't matter whether it's off-road motorbiking, like Jamie Cahill, I think is an enduro rider, or a motocross rider. It doesn't matter whether you are a GP rider, even speedway riders.
Yes.
And there's one local to one of our students in Sheffield who is a regular esports rider, bike rider, fast rider, and multiple-time world champion speedway rider. So that skill, that balance, that fitness that you need, that pathway, really, really key. So really, it's just interesting to see Cahill doing that as well. So Jamie Cahill on category 3, clearly climbing well. Meanwhile, category 1, left-hand side of your screens, that is being attacked again. Another move by Kaminsky there, just shaking things up. Meanwhile, in category 2, as they come into the climb, Mr. X100 has are you ready for this? 13-second gap.
Wow.
It's not that long ago. He was within their sights. SS sat back, and the group caught him. Now, this is where we see if that gamble, that little bit of a roll of a dice by Mr. X100 is going to pay off. Smart tactics. Go in early, get some sliding room. If you're on some good climbing form, and maybe this group are going to underestimate him here, it may be that he's got enough there to keep clear. That'll be a fantastic move. It's certainly going to shake the racing up. Meanwhile, category 1, back together again. We've seen people try different tactics. We've seen those moves
right from the start.
At the moment, though, we are not seeing the sort of moves that we would expect. Now another kick goes. Michael Vick on the attack once again. So at the moment, it is Vink looking to stretch this out. Went up to 9 watts per kilo. Now going to hold 7 watts per kilo. Currently at 25.4K.
1K out.
Yeah, they're going just... Everybody's probably expecting him to go on the climb. He's gone a little bit early, shaking it up here. You can see him on the left-hand side of your screen. Michael Vick out of the saddle. One of the great guests, in fact, that Emma's had on the Virtual Velo podcast, if I remember correctly. Really interesting. Great interview in there. Great interviewing, Emma, I have to say, but great interviewee in Michael Vick as well. A really, really nice guy. Really interesting to hear what he had to say.
Absolutely. and one of the guests on the Virtual Velo podcast, Michael Vink. Nice man, but also fabulous bike rider. Look at that, pushing off the front. Vuyasin, yet again, is the rider who seems to be charged from the Alpha Jaw squad to be following the moves today. So Lionel Vuyasin, and right on the front of the mix. So is Ollie Jones. Ollie Jones is right up there as well. So Jones and Vuyasin, Markin, Osborne and Vink. That seems to be the nature of play today, as Vink goes underneath the banner, signifying the start of the Wollongong climb for the second time in Category 1.
Now, Jason Osborne has taken the segment prize on first time of going up. He's got that in the bank. He's sat back in this group at the moment until we get to the climb. That means he's got some time in the bank on Michael Vink, who's up the road. He now goes to the front. Is this a deliberate tactic to add more prize money and another segment into that piggy bank? When we get into the end, we will have to find out. And at the moment, you can just see we're in with Ahmed Al-Mazzouri. Good to have him on our screens on the left-hand side, just taking on board a drink. He's going to see the Category 2 group come up to him with Mr. X100 just being closed down by the draft of that bunch. That group were all together. They're about to come onto his wheels here, and look at that swarm of green jerseys coming up alongside Al-Mazzouri.
It is just a swarm. It's a great phrase, because I reckon there must be, there's got to be 35 riders in that group going past. We'll do a check at the top of the climb. But there is a massive pack of Category 2 riders. We said at the start of the race today that it was one of the most competitive categories here on the Sunday Race Club. 18 riders in Category 2 finished in the top 5 this month. And across those 4 races, 6 of which have progressed to Category 1. But that still leaves 12 of them in this pack alongside the rest of the Category 2 race field, because they are so strong. Category 2 on the right-hand side, Category 1 on the left.
So Category 1 at the moment, just going into the dip between Part 1 and Part 2 with Vink, Zafazadi, Osborne, Pucker in there. Wu is in that group as well. It has fractured a little bit going over the top, but not too badly. Category 2, top right-hand side of your screen, the leading pack just coming up towards the banner that signifies 200 metres to go to the top of the climb. It's also the point at which those points will be allocated out. I cannot imagine that Simmons is not wanting to contest. He's right up at the front. He took it from SS Ritter and Ramirez last time. Have you got the current?
He has indeed. He's just gone through in first place ahead of Masit Mendakowicz, SS Godzari, Quintero, Nitko, Ritter, Vanhee, Alnijung, Mundal, Paredes, Graves, Gomber, Wozniak, Damsgaard, Bengston, Nair, Fawcett, Walter, Koinston, Stepanak, Santo, Kaplinski, Bjorkland.
And only 2 of the point scorers in the first ascent scoring points in the second ascent. That is Simmons and SS, with Simmons taking 2 wins, SS in the top 5 twice. We're in with Category 6. We're in with Daniel Dotto in person, and the Avatar as well, leading this race out at the moment as they continue to push on here. He is just at the front of what is a group of riders chasing him. You can see that we've got Llewellyn and Winfield, Hoy, Wolf, Milostic. They're going to come back together again here.
Well, they are indeed. And it's amazing, isn't it? 41 kilometres into this 45-kilometre race, they are about to go into the base of the climb again. This group of riders still neck and neck. It's 9 riders at the front of this Category 6 race. They've been up the Wollongong climb twice, and they're about to do it for the 3rd time.
I'm absolutely astounded that there are so many riders together actually in Category 6 at this stage. I would have predicted we'd be on 2s and 3s at this stage, but Category 6 now. I think this, because you got that drop down, you've got that long run down, it does allow the groups to come together, and I think the groups are working across all race categories.
The Category 6 race,
I think they're working better together.
Yeah, I agree, but the Category 6 race for me has been a fast race for Category 6 today, and the reason I can say that, or otherwise the Category 5 race has been really slow, because the time gap between these 2 races starting was 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The distance on the road is still over 2 kilometres.
Yep.
And it's normally about 2.2, 2.3 kilometres, the distance we see travelled in that first 5 minutes. So that gap has stayed the same pretty much between the front of these two race fields, which tells me that they are both moving strongly. We haven't seen the cat and mouse go on in one of these two race fields, because that's normally what allows the gaps to go out or the gaps to close down. So both of these race fields have been really aggressive from the start.
Well, another aggressive race category is the one being headed by Nicholas Spratt. Nicholas Spratt on the attack again here. Rick Van Erck behind with Roca, Hernandez, Unger, and Giuliano. Now, Nicholas Spratt regularly goes. He's a go for a long one, man.
Yeah, and this is his type of course.
Yeah.
Hard. He's had a 3rd place this month already. His team BMC Racing took 2nd place overall last month. Pino's been strong. Giuliano, Stevenson, that BMC squad. In fact, there's multiple teams from BMC across multiple categories. It is a strong, strong racing team. But Spratt, for me, this is the type of course that has his name written all over it.
Yes. Yeah. It's his kind of course, and he's gone long, and he's already got 13 seconds on the rest of the category 4. They're at 40.5k. Quick reminder, we are going right the way to the 45 kilometre marker with the race distance. The climb of Wollongong for the last time finishes at 44.8. The climb actually starts at 42.9 kilometres, so he's still got a reasonable distance. But Spratt going early, able to take advantage of catching groups on the way through. Just going past Patrick Mortek there in category 5, just about to get on to the wheels of the next group, which is a category 6 riders up the road, and it won't be long, I don't think, until we see Nicholas Spratt potentially start to work his way up with all but the lead group in category 6 in front of him.
And this is what we're seeing now. Take a look at Michael Pruitt, absolutely dialing it to get onto Spratt's wheel. Nicholas Spratt in category 4 is working his way through the leaders in category 5 and into the chasers in category 6, and they are all now absolutely desperate to hang on to his wheel and see how much draft they can get from that wheel to take them away from the group that they're with. The issue is they've got to stay away from the group they're with, not just get a gap. And Pruitt, he's a strong rider in category 5. He's taken top 5 positions before. He's had a win before. He's had a win this month. So he is on form. But Martin Wang has had a win as well, and he is on form as well. And the gap is now closing back down. If you're going to hang on to a faster categories wheel, you've got to make it stick. And there's a reason why they're in a faster category.
Indeed, and they're in the right place. Have just been caught just going over the top there and into this little descent that runs you into the main climb, which is where we find the category 6 leader Simon Llewellyn at the moment, leading from Daniel Dotto. It was Warren who had the fastest time over the top of the climb on Wollongong climb for the second time of asking. The first time we were there, it was Sebastian Wolf who took the fastest time. Who is going to take the fastest time at the climb, and will that then set them up for overall victory? We have seen leads change in those last 200 meters here previously when we've come before. Riders who've gone too hard in the search of the mountain points have then blown, but we've also seen riders put down that solid foundation. That means when they then are able to sprint away on those last 200 meters, have an even bigger gap. It's going to be critical. What happens? You've got to be in it to win it over the top of part 1, which is where our riders are coming to now. Hold and consolidate that on the descent into the steep section on part 2. That very steep start is going to be really telling about who's got the legs and who wants to take this on early. And then you've got to hold it all the way to the summit.
Yeah, you have indeed. So 8 riders in the mix at the moment in category 6. The category 2 rider you can see in green is on an earlier lap. So they are not on the final climb like the category 6 riders. Let's remember 3 laps of this course in Wollongong today. And the category 6 pack, they came out start pen first. They are the leaders on the road at the moment, and that is Daniel Dotto from Benjamin Hoy, from Joel Warren, Sebastian Wolf, Drew Abbott, David Winfield, and Riley Milostic at 2 seconds. That group is going to concertina back together again before they start the final climb to the checkered flag.
So there on the right-hand side of your screen, on the left-hand side of your screen, you've got the leader in Category 4. That's Nicholas Spratt, along with the leaders in Category 5. So that leading group of Category 5 have managed to stay with the Category 4 riders. There's a big kick from Sebastian Wolf here on the steep section, 17.8%. He's using this gradient to his advantage. He's wanting to kick clear here, and it's Wolf at the moment who is leading them up here. The Wheelies Racing rider from Germany is a rider who's put the attack in, and they can't respond. Joel Warren, the man who took the top of the climb second time around, he's leading the chase behind Winfield, Malostic, Dotto, Abbott and Hoy. I think they're really on the limit here because Wolf pushed hard. Has Wolf got the timing right? It's a long way to the finish. He's going to have to be hungry.
And that early stage of this climb, so steep. I was going to say it has leveled off a bit now, but it's leveled off to 10%. And that just tells you how steep it was. It does kick again as they get close to the top. In fact, it kicks after the polka dot banner to the checkered flag. It's around 7% at the moment, which is not steep for the Wollongong climb. And the rest of the riders are using it to start to come back to Sebastian Wolf.
And this is about how you ride that climb. We are seeing riders out of contention, though. Abbott at 9 seconds, Hoy at 9 seconds. Dotto is in that group immediately behind. He's at 6 seconds. Malostic is there. So is Winfield and Warren. But realistically, if you're not top 6, 7 now, you're not going to be in it at the top of the climb. That attack by Wolf has really broken this group up. He's got 7 seconds on Riley Malostic, who's a rider behind him. But look at the gap there. Wolf hits another steep section. He kicks again. It eases up. He kicks again. He keeps on pushing here. This is really strong riding. He went hard on lap 1. He took the polka dot skin suit. He was second on this climb on lap number 2. He's heading for the banner. Surely he's going to get the fastest time and consolidate and cement to take away the win in the climb competition. That will give him the polka dot skin suit, but I think he's looking for yellow here today in our June finals as Malostic pushes on out from the group.
He is indeed, and he's closing it down now. It's gone from 11 seconds to 5 seconds. Sebastian Wolf has now got to push. Has he saved something for the very top of this climb? Because it is about to get steeper, and Wolf's gap now down to 4 seconds because the young rider from Australia is coming. It's Riley Malostic, it's David Winfield, it's Benjamin Hoy and Joel Warren. They've saved something to the end. Can Wolf hold this? The UCI banner is right around the corner.
As it peeks out from behind the trees at the summit of this climb, Sebastian Wolf of the Wheelies Racing Team is looking to put down a marker that will see his team come through behind him to back him up. Are they going to be able to do it? Wolf looks like he has this in the bag, though. Sebastian Wolf, he kicked on the steepest part of the climb. He held his nerve. He's going to win the climbs competition. He takes the win in the June Sunday Race Club final. Sebastian Wolf takes victory. Category 6 behind him, David Winfield coming in for a second place. Riley Malostic for third. It's going to be Joel Warren in fourth. And I think Benjamin Hoy is going to round out our top 5 today.
He is indeed. So the Category 6 race, the first 5 riders over the line as we drop back down the climb. This is the Category 5 leading pack. And sat on the front is the Category 4 leader.
So remember, today we have our individual races and our teams competition. Interestingly, no teams having put 3 riders in over the line at the moment in Category 6. There's a long train of Category 6 riders actually making their way into the line at the moment as we drop in with a Category 5 leading in the pack here. Remember, Spratt is Category 4 leader, and at the moment he is solo, so that looks like that is pretty much sewn up for Spratt. Behind him, though, it's Wang, Dawson, Gaviria leading a huge group of Category 5 riders. It's going to be very interesting. I think Spratt knows now that he can pretty much cruise his way in to the line. Dawson, though, kicking on here. He's looking to get maximum points in the Wollongong climb, and he's looking, I think, to set victory here. He's got a gap here, and this really has opened up to the rest of the group. 4, now 5, now 6 seconds, now 7 seconds. Big kick from Adam Dawson. He's got the gap. You can see it on your screens here, and he's gone past Spratt. Sprat, who's in the polka dot skin suit. He's actually the leader in category 4, but they have work to do because Adam Dawson rocketed past. He put in the gap. He used that little bit easier section to open a big distance up. Now, you can see Sprat punches his way up the climb here. He is back in red. He's behind the leader of category 5. Adam Dawson is going to be the race winner here in category 5 in our June finals. Dawson comes in. He's going to go across the line. He takes away victory in category 5. In category 4, it is going to be a fantastic win for Nicholas Sprat here today. So Sprat comes through in category 4. It was Dawson, Polaka, Gaviria, Wang, and Fernandez in category 5.
Wow, multiple teams on the road coming together. And look, here we are, category 3 leading group with category 4 riders smattered into their middles. So category 4 through, Sprat taking the win today. Rick Van Erck coming through for 2nd place. Trent Stevenson for 3rd. Matteo Pino for 4th. And Ryan Giuliano rounding out the top 5 in category 4. This is the category 3 race field, and this is one big pack. 22 riders at last count.
It's a huge group, isn't it? You pick a rider out of this lot is very, very difficult. So category 3, just going over the top of the first part of the climb. Just bringing you up to date with the individuals in category 4 before we move on to our teams. We've got Sprat, Van Erck, Stevenson, Pino, and Giuliano, the first 5 riders in.
And the team competition, BMC Racing in category 4, picking up the win with Sprat, Stevenson, Pino and Giuliano in a fight 1 minute 27 seconds back with Moreno, Moretti and Rocca. In category 5, the team competition, the Level Avengers take the win from Upcycled and then Level Up. All really, really close together. In fact, I make that around 16 seconds between the Level Avengers and Upcycled. Category 6, team competition, ZTBR Charousas taking the win by 1 minute and 1 second from Spinergy. BMC High 6 coming in 3rd.
And all of those results live at the moment and being updated. And you can see live on your screens, Ivo Sure put in the kick as he went over the top. He opened up the gap coming in towards part 2. Has he gone too early? You can see that big bunch are behind, and here they come, the momentum and draft, bringing them forward. John Brune leading onto the wheel of Sure. They're going to go on his right-hand side. It's Brune who goes over the top first, but he's not at the front for long because going over the top goes LaPera, followed by Cahill, followed by Kennett. And this is very telling indeed because Jamie Cahill, the man who has taken this sprint win, has taken away the maximum number of points so far in the climbs competition, is now at the front. He's got a gap. And interestingly, he's done that, returned into the group. So he's not stayed out the front and expended energy. In between those efforts, he's gone back into the group and saved energy. Well, very smart riding.
Out front now by 9 seconds on the pack.
And that was all done on that drive through, the momentum down part 1, off the back of part 1, through the dip and on to the steep section of climb. Now behind Dylan Kennett and Christian Montoya are the riders who are battling it out behind. They are in 2nd and 3rd place, or they were, because Tidhoma Felguarin are exchanging places with them as fast as we see them move. But at the moment, it is Jamie Cahill on the top. He's going over the top here. He's pushing hard. He's got to keep on rolling, though, as he makes his way up towards the banner. He should have done enough to take away the fastest time this time around and take away that climber's jersey, but he will want that yellow jersey. At the moment, you can see the chasers are in category 3, right-hand bottom of your screen, left-hand bottom side of your screen. There you can just see Jamie Cahill, the leader in category 3, category 2, top right-hand side, and category 1, top left-hand side at the moment. Categories 2 and 1 approaching the climb. Category 3, they're on the run up to the top of the climb. Cahill leading this, but the group have closed down that gap that he had. We're into the last 200 meters here on the right-hand side. Massive kick comes from Dylan Kennett. Well, Kennett is a bit of a winning machine. Is he going to be able to translate that here on the climb? Kennett goes, Cahill's chasing him here, but Dylan Kennett using that sprint strength all the way up to the top. Dylan Kennett is going to make it another win on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Over the top he goes, Category 3 winner, Dylan Kennett, just ahead of Didutch, Cahill, Fell and Morgan. And I think that may well be a photo finish for those places behind Kennett.
Well, Category 2 in the mix at the moment, pushing at the 41.4 kilometre marker. They're not into that final climb yet, but it's X100, Graves, Mendakowicz. These three riders are clear of the chase group, 13 seconds clear. And Carlos Ospina, Simon Walter, they are leading the charge behind.
So let's just give you a quick recap of those top 5 places. It was Dylan Kennett taking the win in Category 3 from Andre Didutch in 2nd place. Jamie Cahill taking 3rd place. Pierre Fell taking 4th. And Christopher Morgan taking 5th place. Have we got some teams in Category 2? We must have.
Have we got some teams in Category 2? I'm going to tell you this because this is amazing.
Okay.
So first of all, the team competition in Category 3, take the win. Oya, Ridley, Tidholm and Karlstrom. The gold grabbers in 2, 5 seconds back. Didutch, Kalman, Van Vellegem and Kochkov. Los Rodilones take 3rd place, 7 seconds back. Restrepo, Angarita and Lepera. What's Up take 4th place, 7.9 seconds back. Montoya, Guarin, Orego and Sur. Sandstorm take 5th, 19 seconds back. Fell, Becker, Fournier and Kenderich. Level Golden take 6th place, 37 seconds back. Morgan, Bakken and Solar. Smooth Operators take 7th, 1 minute, 7 seconds back. Kennett, Yeast and Goodall, all 7 of those teams picking up prizes today.
And all 7 teams in within 1 minute, 7 seconds of our race leading team. Remembering that it's the times added up together of the top 3 riders. It shows you just how close Category 3 has been today and how much of a battle it's been. We're in with Category 2 now as we turn our attentions to our 2 remaining categories. Category 2, and the riders with the green jerseys. Category 1 with the yellow jerseys. The group leading Category 2, Mr. X100's group on the front, on the left-hand side of your screen there. Phil Graves in with Mr. X100. That's a familiar pairing if there ever was one there at the moment on the way into the base of the climb. Just going through the climb banner itself comes the chasing group behind at the moment. These 2 groups separated by about 200 meters on the road. So Mendakowicz, Mr. X100 and Graves at the moment, the leading 3 riders. Behind then, that big chasing packet on the way into the climb. Nitko, Walter and Co battling the way in. Meanwhile, Category 1, we're just in with Sai Safrazadi, and it looks to me like Safrazadi is going for a long one here. He goes into the of Justin Yunfei Wu as well as Stefan Van Els, but my goodness me, it looks to me like Safrazadi has decided he's going for a big long push out. 7.5 watts per kilo he's holding at the moment. He's leading Category 1 as Pucker comes behind him. Osborne, Knudsen and Co are on their way. Meanwhile, right hand side of your screen, looks like Mendakowicz just starting to open a slight gap to X100 and Graves. That gap is starting to open. David Nitko, though, is at 23 seconds as they go over the top of part 1 of the final ascent here in Category 2. So the Category 2 leaders, the trio of leaders, have got a gap. It's not quite half a minute, but it's still substantial as they go in. Meanwhile, left-hand side of your screen, Osborne, Safrazadi, Wu, all in the mix here. Pucker is holding the wheels. At the moment, though, it's Osborne who's stretching his legs out in that polka dot skin suit on the left-hand side as Mr. X100 tries to drive down here. Now, we saw him do this previously. Can he do this again? But this time, he will not want catching on that climb by the big bunch. He will want to be in that top three. He's continuing to push. Mendakowicz and Graves are there. The gap at the moment, well, it's changing because the chasing group are just going over the top of the summit. And remember, these time gaps are computed by basically the speed and distance covered. If the riders are on a climb or a descent, that is going to really change things up. The chasing pack are coming, though.
Well, let me tell you, Category 2, X100 has taken 6 wins on the Sunday Race Club. Maciej Mendakowicz has taken 14 wins on the Sunday Race Club. Phil Grave has taken 17 wins on the Sunday Race Club since they started racing them, and they've all been racing them a long time. Mendakowicz at the moment is right at the top of the tree here, pushing on. They've just come over the steep section, the steep early section of the second part of this climb. X100 and Graves are behind. The gap further back, that's the pack that are chasing, and this is Jason Osborne on a charge. Wu is there and absolutely nailing it with Safra Zadie sitting on Osborne's wheel. They are not letting him go today.
So here we go. Osborne, Wu, Safra Zadie, then Pucker, 4 seconds back at the moment. He's not out of it yet, but Osborne is going to be right at the front here with Safra Zadie as they come in. Wu looking strong as well here, I have to say, as they come through onto the back of this big long pack. Meanwhile, top right-hand side of your screen, Maciej Mendakowicz is leading out. He's ahead of Mr. X100 and Phil Graves by 3, nearly 4 seconds. And the pack are coming. That long train of riders are really coming in. So this is going to be really, really telling who is going to come up. Are they able to catch back Graves? Are they able to catch back Mr. X100? Can they catch back Maciej Mendakowicz? Mendakowicz is going to go underneath that polka dot banner first. And Mr. X100 is at 5 seconds. Graves at 6. Nitko is at 9. It's coming back together again. Less than 200 meters to go in the Category 2 race. Maciej Mendakowicz absolutely powering here. He's out of the saddle, 6.5 watts per kilo. If ever these riders needed to sprint, now is the time because SS is coming. He is on the heels of Ritter, but Gudzari, Stepanek and co are charging. Can Mendakowicz hold out here? Here they come. The charge is coming from Ritter. He's going to be on the wheels of Mendakowicz. Mendakowicz is pushing. This is going to be key here. Mendakowicz, he's on his way to the line. He's going to hold off Ritter. Category 2 race win in our June finals. Maciej Mendakowicz takes it from Moritz Ritter from SS in 3rd, David Nitko in 4th, and Phil Graves in 5th.
Well, Maciej Mendakowicz takes his 15th win on the Sunday Race Club. What a race. That is Jason Osborne. He has just come over the line to win Category 1. Michael Nuds inside Safra Zadie. They are all behind him. Let me give you a call. It's Jason Osborne in 1. Yunfen Wu takes 2nd. Side Safra Zadie takes 3rd. Michael Nuds takes 4th, line of Yasin takes 5th, Stefan van Els takes 6th, Mikhail Kaminski is there for 7th in the Category 1 race today.
An incredible finish by Jason Osborne. He sprinted his way up, held by Wu, to only a few seconds between them. The gap, 3.916 of a second. So it's Osborne from Wu, from Safra Zadie, Knudsen, Vajasin, Van Els, then Pucker in 8th. I think there's going to be a 9th place here for Jones after being on the aggressive moves all the way through the race there. So, fantastic racing across all of our race categories. Incredibly fast racing. Osborne taking number 1 here today. The man who's flown up this climb so many times. The Boss Moves only squad finishing 3 riders inside the top 4 there, with Osborne in 1, Safra Zadie in 3, and Knudsen in 4. That is going to give them the team win behind them. It looks like the Alpha Jaw squad probably going to be taking 2nd place here today.
It's a new course record as well.
So, new course record to take that win. It is Boss Moves only from the Alpha Jaw squad. In the Category 2 team competition, Goats from Smarties from Gloria Victis. The Hits men Fast Guys and Abus Esports. Absolutely flying here today. And I make it that the gap between those riders is about a minute and a half between all of the teams in the Category 2 competition that have finished so far. Catch up with those full results on the MyWhoosh.com website. Whilst you're there, make sure that you download MyWhoosh. Get on and ride. We want to see you out on the bikes. We want to see you riding. Please do make sure whilst you're online that you subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. Follow MyWhoosh at MyWhoosh on Instagram and on Facebook. Don't forget you can follow me. It's at Matt Fixer Pain on Instagram. You can follow Emma at biking_Emma. You can catch up with Emma riding a TT at some point during the week on MyWhoosh. You can catch up with me if you're going to the UK and going to the National Crit Series through the week. Emma and myself and all of the team, we will be back next Sunday for the first qualifier of July into the second half of 2025. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our riders for keeping us so entertained today. Thank you very much to the big skills of the production team behind the scenes who make all of this happen. But from Emma and myself, stay safe. We'll see you next month for qualifier race 1.
Goodbye.